morning, sports fans and enthusiasts from every corner of the globe. It's time to rise and grind because it's game time.
What time is it? Game time!
So grab your coffee, turn up the volume, and get ready to join the conversation.
Y'all ready for this?
Because the Dan Kasper Show begins right now.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Here's your host and maestro of sports knowledge himself, Dan Kasper.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
What up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. It is DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk Studios this morning. How you feeling, Packers fans? Holy moly! I mean, you don't need to go through the breakfast menu here this morning. Yes, we'll talk a little Badger football with the Badgers picking up a win last night. Billy Edwards leaving the game early due to an injury. But Badgers 17-0. Brewers falling yesterday afternoon. Now going to Toronto. We will do some local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center with our good buddy Brandon Berg. We do have cream of the crop, bottom of the barrel, our EJM Automotive. Pump the brakes, full throttle. But this is rare. This is incredibly rare what we're seeing with the green and gold. Packers yesterday officially rumored out there, and I think for the most of us, a lot of us, hell, probably every single Packers fan out there is like, yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Probably gonna, we're trying not to get into it too much, not trying to buy into the hype or the rumors and that. But it happened. It happened. Green Bay gets Micah Parsons yesterday afternoon. The whole day kind of transpired. It's like, okay, there were some reports leaking out a little bit that, okay, maybe Dallas was a little bit more open. Maybe they're willing to listen to offers now and such. It's like, okay, but still, Green Bay ain't going to do anything like that. They're not going to do anything like that. And then, lo and behold, what was it, 4-something? Because I know it was right before I had to leave to go coach football. It popped up. Packers trading for Micah Parsons. 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons. And then Parsons signing that mega deal, 4 years, $188 million, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. I got to ask, Packers fans, what was when you first heard it, when you first read it, however you heard about it, online or something like that, because it was going on right at the end of the Brewers game, right? What was your reaction? I was in disbelief. I was like, no way this is happening. No, Green Bay doesn't do stuff like this. This no. Duh. Doesn't happen. But it happened. It happened. And we're going to hear from Micah Parsons later on today in his introductory press conference. Packers going to be introducing him this afternoon. Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur also scheduled to talk to the media as well this afternoon. So we will hear from the newest Green Bay Packer. It is not a dream. If you're just waking up, Packers fans, no, yesterday was not a dream. Not a dream. It is real. Parsons to Green Bay. Superstar defensive pass rusher coming to Green Bay. Expectations exploding now for Green Bay for this year. And I would say for the next couple of years. Right? I mean, as long as he's there, as long as the core of this team is there, it is win now, not just for this year, but for at least the foreseeable future. Oh, I'm still like I still like just pitch me, man. Just go ahead and pitch me. There's no way this thing is actually going on for real. I mean, what Green Bay gave up for him, honestly, I think Green Bay kind of got a bargain. I think they did. I really think they did. We all knew the minimum was going to be 2 first-round picks. We knew that. That was the minimum. The question was just going to be, what else? What else besides 2 first-round picks? I was a little surprised that Green Bay did move on from Kenny Clark, but I understand it. And when you really look at it, it's like, because I've been saying for a while now, I thought this was Kenny Clark's final year in Green Bay, just based off how his structure was with the cap hits and that, and it just with Green Bay's salary cap situation for 2026, it felt like this was going to be Kenny Clark's final year in Green Bay. He's coming off of a down year last year. Yes, he had the foot injury. Maybe that's what really affected his play last year. But he is going to be 30. And when you factor in that this was probably going to be his final year in Green Bay, that he is 30 years old, all it cost Green Bay was those 2 first-round picks, again, that we knew was the minimum, and Kenny Clark, to me, is a win. And that is also the expectation that, okay, those picks probably, knock on wood, that nothing happens to, for the Packers to where they don't do well this year. Probably the back end of the first round. And we know, what does Green Bay do with those first round picks normally? Who do they draft normally? It's those kind of prospects. Maybe it takes them a couple years to hit their potential. Incredibly high ceiling type of players. Dudes that if they hit that ceiling, if they hit their potential, they could be really, really, really good players. But it takes maybe a couple of years. So I don't want to say that there's no value to first round picks or anything like that, because there is, but we have seen it time and time again. It sure looks like the mindset of Green Bay with those first round picks is let's maybe get a guy that in a couple of years could be a superstar, but it might take a couple of years. Well, now you're in a win now mode. The general manager, after the season, says it's time we start competing for championships. He put his money where his mouth is. All right, I like my picks. But if I'm going to go out there and publicly say that it's time to compete for championships, I'm going to do my part. Goody did his part by acquiring Micah Parsons. He put his money where his mouth is. Said, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do my part. It is now in the hands of the coaches and the players to do their part. But when you factor in that, okay, those first-round picks probably going to be towards the back end of the first round, and the mindset of Green Bay is how they've approached first-round picks, might take a couple of years, and it took Kenny Clark, who's probably in his final year in Green Bay. I think that's a hell of a deal for Green Bay. Yes, it costs a lot. Yes, you had to sign him to that huge extension. Yes, you're taking on some dead cap hit with Kenny Clark. But overall, on the surface, on paper, to me, it surprised me that that's all it took to acquire Micah Parsons, who is in his prime and is probably a top 3 pass rusher in the entire National Football League. Think about it. To kind of put it in comparisons to other trades out there, okay? Even like first round or even other like first round picks and such. I know not everything's always the same comparison, but like the 49ers, okay? When they moved up in the draft to acquire Trey Lance, who is a backup quarterback for the Chargers, the 49ers traded 3 first-round picks and a third-rounder to acquire the pick to get Trey Lance. Yeah, 3 first-rounders, okay? The Bears, when they acquired Khalil Mack, because that was kind of the trade that everybody was kind of looking at as, maybe the base. The Bears sent 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 2nd-round pick. Yes, they got Mac and a 2020 2nd-round pick and a conditional 5th-round pick with it too. But all things considered, I think I think advantage goes to Green Bay. You get an impact player right away entering his prime. And to me, I don't think they gave. Yes, I don't want to downplay the how much they gave up because it is a lot. But considering, that's it. That to me is probably outside the fact that Green Bay actually did it. The second part that actually surprised me the most is that that's all it took to get Micah Parsons. Is, man, Goody, I hope he had a few victory scotches last night. I hope if Goody went out last night to the local pubs in Green Bay, everybody in those establishments should have bought that man a drink. No way did he have a victory scotch. Did he have to pay for his brewskis or a victory scotch if he went? He didn't probably go out. But I'm just saying he could have. And he'd be the most popular man in town until Micah Parsons came into town. That's a heck of a move. It is a job-altering, job-deciding move by Goody. He's putting his job at stake for this. You're investing in your future. You're investing a huge contract. You have made it tight on salary cap stuff, okay? We knew 2026 was going to be tight. It's tight right now. Green Bay still has a couple days because technically they'd be over the cap right now until Micah Parsons signs that deal and lower that cap hit. They're probably going to do some other, adjustments and such to other players. He is putting his job on the line with a decision like this. Because if it doesn't work out, you got a new president, new CEO, who already has said, I'm not going to give him and LaFleur extensions, with 2 years left. But I don't want him to go into a lame duck year. So, I don't know if this played into it at all. But, if I'm Ed Policy right now, I got to be like, hey, now, my first year, we get Micah Parsons. Let's go. That's impressive. That's impressive, Brian. You just moved a little bit closer to that extension. But, the comparisons out there, yes, I get the Reggie White, the enthusiasm, the like, holy crap, that actually happened. It's an accurate comparison, but this is a trade, right? The Reggie White one was free agent, and yeah, you had to wine and dine at Red Lobster and try to convince Reggie White and God calling Reggie White to come to Green Bay and that was, I get all the comparisons. This and Reggie White are up there. Charles Woodson, remember Charles Woodson? He only had 2 suitors. It was Tampa and Green Bay. He didn't even want to go to Green Bay. Ended up working out incredibly well. The Favre trade, they're like, who? Why are we trading a first round for that guy? This is in a ballpark of its own. It's similar to White, but if you want to get down to the brass tacks, you got a free agent and you got a trade here. Green Bay doesn't do this. They don't trade first-round picks, let alone multiple first-round picks for something like this, and they didn't. Holy cow. This instantly moves them up to, if they were a good team, to great elite. You put in an impact pass rusher like Micah Parsons, a guy that has proven in his 4 years in the NFL to be a superstar defensive player on a team that it was rushing the passer. You just added a guy in his first 4 years, double-digit sacks every single year. Last guy to do that, Reggie White. So, you'll get a ton of comparisons and stuff thrown out there. The parallels between the two is uncanny. I'm a little, surprised they didn't give up Gary or even Lucas Van Ness and such. Jeff Hafley's got to be, if Goody's the most excited and LaFleur and that, Jeff Hafley's got to just be jumping up and down right. Defensive coordinator for Green Bay. You got a guy who is essentially, I saw this comparison when I was reading some stuff. He's the queen on your chessboard. Micah Parsons is the queen on your chessboard. He's not just, you don't just strictly have to line him up as a 4-3 defensive end. He is a guy that you can move around the line of scrimmage like a queen on a chessboard. That versatile player that you could put in so many different positions to go get the quarterback. And I go back to what Matt LaFleur said in June now about Lucas Van Ness potentially getting some snaps at defensive tackle in certain situations. Now you got an opening. Now I think it's clearly evident that when Green Bay is in a maybe obvious passing situation, you're going to get a Lucas Van Ness, because I'm sure some people are like, okay, so how is this going to work out now? I think it's clearly evident you're going to have a Lucas Van Ness probably lining up at D tackle, Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons on the edge there. But Parsons, don't pigeonhole him. And I don't think Jeff Hafley's going to pigeonhole him. You're going to look at, okay, how was Micah Parsons so dominant? How was he so effective at getting after the quarterback? Let's emulate that, but maybe take it up another level. I think this helps Rashawn Gary. We've been critical. I've been critical of Rashawn Gary. A move like this helps out Rashawn Gary. Because if opposing teams were coming in and you're like, okay, we're going to definitely target Rashawn Gary, double teams, tight end chips, whatever the case may be, can't do that anymore. Not with Parsons on the field. You can't do that. This is going to help him. This is going to help this defensive line. This is going to help the corners, the secondary. If we were worried about quarterback depth, this is going to help them out now. Jeff Hafley gets to do what he said he wanted to do last year. Rush with 4. Keep extra guys back in the secondary. That's what they want to play on defense, and now he gets to do that. Now, and then you look at what Hafley actually did with the defense last year. And I was reading this a little bit too from NFL Network. And it was a great piece kind of breaking it down, winners and losers of this trade. And I think when you kind of take a look back at last year and you kind of see the job that Hafley did with his defense, he did a really good job considering what he had. And now you add in Micah Parsons. It's like, whew. So this was from Kevin Patra from NFL.com and his winners, losers of this trade. And one of the winners was Jeff Hafley. Hafley immediately helped turn around a Packers defense that had long underperformed. In his first season at the helm, Green Bay finished 6th in points allowed and 5th in total defense. The last time the Pack had registered in the top 10 in both categories was 2010. Hafley made it work without a dominant pass rusher. Gary led the Packers with 7.5 quarterback takedowns last season, yet Green Bay still ranked tied for 8th in the NFL with 45 sacks. That's the scheme doing work. Now inject the most dominant, movable pass rusher in the game. The defensive coordinator should be beaming for weeks. Adding Parsons isn't just gaining an edge rusher. Here's the queen piece in the chessboard comparison. He's equivalent of a queen in chess, able to move all around the board, taking out opponents at will. It's a good day to be Jeff Hafley. I'm excited to see how they utilize him within this defense. I'm excited to see this whole thing play out. Yes, the expectations are insanely high. You know, it's Super Bowl or bust, and it should be. You don't make a move like this if you don't embrace that mindset. You don't make a move like this if you're not willing to embrace that goal, that mindset. Green Bay, Goody specifically, has put his money where his mouth is. You can't sit there as a general manager, rewind it after the season, and say it's time that we start competing for championships without doing your part. We talked about that all offseason. All right. The offseason was Goody's time. That was his time to say, how do I do my part to make this team a team willing to or able to compete for championships. Took a little bit, but he has now done it. He put the money where his mouth is. He has put his job on the line for this. It is now in the hands of the players and the coaching staff to deliver that Lombardi trophy. That is the expectation. That is the goal. We can say it every year, that's the goal. This is putting your money where your mouth is. I could be honest and truthful when I say this. In my lifetime, I was fairly young yet, still when White came over. But I knew the excitement. This, in my adults' lifetime or teens, I don't know how to put it in comparison. I've never, we have been so ingrained for the longest time as Packers fans to say this doesn't happen in Green Bay. Green Bay doesn't do this. We always, as Andrew Brandt says, Green Bay is usually the team that gets thrown out there to draw up the price for other teams. The fact that this happened is mind-boggling. I'm still kind of blown away. And I now cannot wait for this flipping season. World Series and Super Bowl, let's make 2025 into 26 pretty special here, Wisconsin sports fans. Because this is amazing. This is awesome. All right, let's take a quick break. I want to hear your thoughts, though, okay? Hit me up with a quick text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. You can also comment on the video streams if you'd like. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I think it's on Instagram. I know we had a little issue with Instagram this morning. I want to hear from you, all right? This is what this program is all about, to get your opinion, to get your thoughts. This is your show. This is your program. This is your opportunity to give me your thoughts and opinions on this thing. This is your chance. So let me know. Okay? Again, that texting line, that Shoe Doctors bullpen line to hit me up with a text, 715-830-1912. Or again, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff. All right? Leadoff kind of boiled into the menu there, but one of those days, one of those opportunities. It's just like it's a free-for-all today. Let's take a quick break, and we'll get your thoughts coming up after these few words.
Got a take on today's topic, but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line, and let your fingers do the talking.
Grant here for Kai's Chevy Town, a short drive from anywhere just off exit 41, the north side of Menominee, right off I-94. In a perfect world, you never need to buy a car at the drop of a hat, right? And in a perfect world, the only maintenance you ever need done on your car is routine maintenance. Nothing ever goes wrong, right? We all know that's not how life works. And that happened to me last September. All of a sudden, my car goes to heck and I need a new one. And they were right there to help me in that moment. We've all had something go wrong on our vehicle and all of a sudden it needs to be repaired. And life can't stop, right? The kids need to get to soccer practice and you need to be able to get to work. Life needs to be able to go on. And in both instances of buying a car and getting a car service, getting something repaired, Kai's has been there when I really, really needed help. And I can't recommend them enough. They've been helping folks for 3 generations, both in buying cars and keeping those cars going. They're award-winning service department. So start the buying process or schedule your next appointment with their service department. Go to ChevyTownUSA.com. Be wise, see Kai's for the best buys.
For over 50 years, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine has been Western Wisconsin's trusted leader in orthopedic care. Whether you're facing bone and joint pain, sports injuries, or complex spine issues, their expert team is dedicated to helping you live pain-free. Now with their new state-of-the-art facility in Rice Lake, you can enjoy clinic visits, advanced imaging, and personalized physical therapy all under one roof. Visit cvosm.com to get back to doing what you love pain-free. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where high-quality care meets hometown commitment.
In today's business business environment, you need internet that's as strong as your ambitions. TDS Fiber Internet is designed to meet the highest demand, offering blazing fast symmetrical speeds and rock-solid 99.9% network reliability. Fortify your business with internet that delivers unmatched strength and durability. Upgrade to industrial-strength TDS Fiber Internet. Built to endure, built for your business. Visit tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed, subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Broadcasting live from the TDS Sports Talk 105.1 studios, it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Tim from the Cooley region says, could have knocked me over with a feather here in the trade for Micah. This is not what the Packers historically do. To me, this is the biggest signal the Packers are going all in for a Super Bowl. Brandon's mom saying, Bees mom, I think I wet myself a little when the news broke about the Pack. Evan saying, all hail Ricky Leaks. Yeah, the Twitter account. That dude or gal or whoever runs it, they better be taking a victory lap themselves. No question about it. It's video stream. Joe says a total surprise. The Packers actually spent some money on a good player. Only the Reggie White signing bigger. James says, I agree with this as a bargain for the Packers. We benefited from Dallas's administrative dysfunction. So thankful we don't have an owner, but the structure the Packers have. Nick says this doesn't feel like a Super Bowl or bust move. It feels right. Added a huge piece of the puzzle to get to the Packers, to the big show. Go, Pack, go. Let's take a quick phone call from our dude, Mr. C-Bomb here, which C-Bomb, be careful what you say. I'm just saying, you know what I'm getting at, bud. Oh, no, C-Bomb, I think you got to try calling us back. C-Bomb, try calling us back here, bud, okay? So we'll get C-Bomb or something with the phone there. So C-Bomb, try calling back. We'll get you back on here. So Living the Dream, Jeff says, morning, Dan. Holy crap, and everyone who has met me knows I am being polite. Wow, I am amazed, and I can't wait to see this. My only concern is the salary cap, as I don't know how it will all shake out. Shouldn't hear any poop from Bears or Vikings fans until further notice. Big Word says, morning, Dan. Goody is a god. We just got a top rusher for 2 late-round picks and an aging Clark. Do we move Van Ness inside with Wyatt? With Parsons, Gary on the edge, Jordan Love, it's on you now. Love the show. Let's get back to the phone lines. All right, C-Bob, tell me how low I have to have this volume just in case.
Good morning, El Capitano. It is beautiful in the state of Wisconsin this morning, is it not?
It is pretty good. Are you on Bluetooth right now?
I'm talking through the car. I'm sorry. I can flip over to my phone.
There you go. That sounds better.
Is that better?
That's better. Yep.
Oh, good Lord. What a great morning.
Oh, dude. I mean, what was your reaction when you first, one of the first people I thought about when that popped through yesterday was you. What was, keep it clean, but what was your first reaction when you saw that?
Well, I'll tell you how I found out, okay? So it's been beautiful out. So I've been riding the motorcycle to and from work in New Richmond every day. So I was on the bike, and all of a sudden my phone's blowing up from Mr. Dan Krass, Jordy's dad from, Krass trained. And you know the Krasses very well. And I was like, wait a minute, it's 5 o'clock. Dan Krass is calling me 4:30, whatever the time was. I was like, They freaking got Parsons, guaranteed. So I'm on the motorcycle trying to flip through my phone to find sports radio, and of course, yep, they did it, and I was like, I had to pull over. I did a happy dance on the side of I-94. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, dude. I mean, okay. I mean, this is Reggie White-esque, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah, I think, and this, I think this is entirely different. It feels Reggie White-esque, but even if you look at Reggie White, he came here when he was 31.
Yeah.
We were hopeful he was still going to be dominant, but we didn't know for sure for how long. But it was awesome. Charles Woodson signed here when he was 30. You know, both free agents, right? So it's not really a trade, but it gets the excitement up. Micah Parsons just turned 26. He's entering the prime of his career. I heard on Maggie and Perloff before your program this morning, all these Dallas fans calling in. You know, of course, they're bitter, right? They're losing their best player.
Yep.
But they're, you know, oh, he's going to give up now that he's paid. The hell if he is, he's got to play for another contract. He's going to be 30 when this one's up. So I'll tell you what, Dan, I was hopeful that they would do a deal like this for Trey Hendrickson. 1,000% in my head. I never even thought they would go. Micah Parsons would be an opportunity for us because I never thought Jerry Jones would be dumb enough to let him walk. Typically, the Jones pays his players and keeps them, and I mean they're Dallas Cowboys, right?
Right.
And the fact that this happened, they better be getting the statue ready for Goot, because if this turns out he earns it, and Ed Policy, he's sitting back in his chair and he can't, you know, he's got to make a mark, and he had to sign off on this, I'm sure. And boy, is Packer Nation fired up. I know I am.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I can't remember the last time I've been this fired up. Now, I mean, you know, yes, this is Darius Smith, Preston Smith, that day, Adrian Amos, when they signed all those guys and such. But we're talking about a proven superstar pass rusher, defensive player. Like, I don't know if they'll do this. First game of the season at Lambeau Field, when they do the intros, do the defense first and leave Micah Parsons as the last person and just get that crowd going right away. That was one of my first thoughts.
Yeah, that Lambeau's going to erupt. I mean, we've been complaining about pass rush for ever.
Yeah.
I mean, this is easily, since Reggie White, hands down the best pass rusher that's ever walked onto this team. And I can't believe they did it. This is not the Green Bay Packers MO. I love it. You know, Matthew Golden, from, you know, everything we're seeing in camp, how much you can read into that, looks like he might hit day one.
Yep.
But typically, like you stated, first round picks do not do that. You know, it sucks to see Kenny Clark go, but to be honest with you, it's going to be easier to plug in a defensive tackle than it is going to be to find the best pass rusher in the league, you know, outside of TJ Watt. I mean, this is just unbelievable. 26 years old. Can't believe it.
I know. I mean, then you look at the different levels of this defense. You got Xavier McKinney on the back ends. You know, obviously a lot of excitement about what Edrin Cooper can do this year. Now you put in, you know, Micah Parsons and such. I think that incredibly, you know, for anybody who has maybe some concerns about the cornerback group, this helps that out big time. I mean, now Jeff Hafley can do what he wants to do, right? Just drop extra guys back in coverage, and you got Xavier McKinney roaming back there, and just let those guys up front go out and eat. I can't wait to see what Hafley has planned with this.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And we're finally going to get to the quarterback bringing four. And it's going to be phenomenal. And I think that's your best defensive backfield is a pass rush. That's what I've always said, and we've never had it. And, you know, if you look at the makeup of this defense from the start of last year to the start of this year, now we've lost Kenny Clark and Jair Alexander. Those were two of our, you know, top defenders, and we have way more excitement today than we did this time last year. I mean, this is just, it's unbelievable. Outside of getting a top tier quarterback trade, which you never see, but like, this is the biggest trade I could, and it's not just because it's the Packers. It's a marquee trade. I mean, it's probably the biggest trade in a number of years. Can you think of one that would trump this in the NFL?
No, no. I can't. I mean, it's not the Aaron Rodgers to Jets or anything like that, because he's at the back end of his career and such. I mean, this is, like you said, you're getting a guy in his prime, entering his prime, and you know, all the people saying, no, he's not going to play up to that level or anything like that. Bull. I mean, he's still got major goals in front of him, right? It's to get a ring now. It's to get that ring, and he's going to go to a team that I think now is just going to be like, all right, that's the mindset of everybody within that locker room. That's the mindset. And if that's what can't motivate you and to go out there and to be great, and if I'm Micah Parsons and I'm hearing all the Reggie White stuff and that, I've got an opportunity to solidify my Hall of Fame career and hell, maybe even get my number retired now up at Lambeau Field. That's my expectations for Micah.
Absolutely, 100%. You are spot on. He is. It just. I can't believe they did it, Dan. I actually last night didn't want to go to bed because I'm like, I'm going to wake up and it's all going to have been a dream.
Like, I was still waiting for something. Like, I was like, oh, no, Jerry's going to somehow back out of this or something like that. I was still like, not like, I don't want to get fully in on it. My excitement, because I thought something's going to happen. Something's going to happen and it's going to fall through. But dude's getting introduced today in Green Bay. Jerry had that weird presser last night that just, I'm sorry, made him look like an idiot. So, I mean, it's just, I kind of feel bad for Dallas fans. But not really.
Yeah, you know what? It was a sour thing for him in Dallas. Dallas fans are probably pissed because they're losing their best. They're losing their best player. But hey, they're getting 2 first-round picks. Might as well be second-round picks because we're going to win the Super Bowl the next 2 years, right?
Yep.
And then they got a stud defensive tackle, so they didn't lose out entirely. So I do feel a little bit bad, but thank you very much, Dallas fans. This is going to be awesome. The question I have is the back issue. Contract back is what I want to call it. We might have to ask Dr. Crow if that's a true thing. Contract back.
Maybe. But hey, I said it earlier this week. Maybe Micah was giving us a little bit of a sign earlier when he was entering that final preseason game, eating some nachos. Cheese, nachos. There you go. Just saying.
Absolutely. Way to tie that in, Dan. That is a great observation.
All right, dude. So once we find out what number he's wearing, you going to order the jersey?
You know what? I vowed after Zadarius Smith that I would never buy another player's jersey. Gosh dang it, I'm getting a Parsons jersey. You damn betcha.
Yeah.
And I'll do something crazy in that sucker too.
I love it, man. I love it. Dude, great to hear from you, buddy. Appreciate the phone call this morning, sir.
You bet. Have a great weekend. Thanks for having me, El Capitano. Go Pack, go.
You got it, bud. There you go. There's C-Bomb hopping off on the line. From C-Bomb to Surveyor Sam we go. Surveyor last night saying, I'm going to be the first to say I was wrong. Have you ever actually said dumbfounded, actually flabbergasted by what you just witnessed? That's what I felt like when the news was wired across my phone. I love Kenny, but he's 30 and he has a decade of wear and tear in his body. We basically gave up 2 second-round picks because the Cowboys will be using pick 32 for the next couple of years. This was an all-world move by Goody, and we must understand the greatness he just brought us. Go, Pack, go. And it's Super Bowl or bust. Bring on the Lions. Suck it, Vikings and Bears might as well stay in hibernation because we are coming for their precious Caleb. I'm still dumbfounded. This is absolutely insane. Let's blanking go. Go, Pack, go. Eli says Green Bay has to be the front runner for all the odds now. I'm going to week 10 against the Eagles Monday Night Football that I now believe we can whoop them. Golden and Parsons jersey in the cart as soon as his number comes out. Rick says this is fleecing of the Cowboys to give 2 firsts and a 30-year-old Clark. The 53-man roster when it was released had this exact move in mind. It takes time and moving of players and making money. Pencil out. Goody, Russ ball policy, all should be applauded for this. Pressure on the floor to bring everything together. Also, Dave last night saying it's a great trade. I like Kenny, but he is definitely on the downside. And our first round picks are always late, so never an impact player anyway. Down the road, though, who will we have to restructure their contract to make room in years 2 through 4? That's something that's why I'm glad Russ Ball is on staff to figure that out. Josh also saying from last night, this trade has me shook. As a lifelong Packers fan, we always hear the Packers are interested in players. This week, I've heard the Packers linked to Parsons. And again, I said it's the Packers. They won't do it. But holy bleep, they did. Wow. Another texter from last night. No name. Looks like a first-time texter, so appreciate that. At the core, it's a good move. The money is a little concerning. I also think we are putting too much into a 6 to 8 game stretch 2 years ago from Jordan Love. I get he was beat up last year, but he did nothing to convince me he's a top-tier quarterback. He will need more support than we're used to. with the last two quarterbacks, and this contract will absolutely hinder that in the future. Overall, the time is now. If we don't win in the next 2 to 3 years, that window may close for a considerable amount of time. Let's try to stay positive, though, right? I'm looking for the now. I'm looking for the now. I want a Lombardi now, trophy now, World Series at the end of this year with a Brewers team, and let's get a Lombardi Trophy Super Bowl championship in February with the Green Bay team. Can you imagine? Just imagine that right now. If you are a Wisconsin sports fan, think about this for just a few seconds. You've got a Brewers team with the best record in Major League Baseball, and we're entering September. You have got a Packers team that has just acquired a worldwide superstar pass rusher in Micah Parsons. You're looking at this and like, holy moly. I mean, I go back to 2011. Probably as the closest example, right? 2011. You had the Brewers. That was, the final year of Prince Fielder. Ryan Braun wins MVP. You had Zach Greinke on the mound. Going into the postseason, feeling good, especially, after winning that first series against the Diamondbacks. Packers were off to that undefeated start to the season. Man, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Brian, really quick, before we have to head off to another break on our video stream, appreciate everybody tuning into the video stream here this morning. Brian says when Reggie White came to Green Bay, it was a monumental move by the Packers. When Charles Woodson came to the Packers, it was a piece that the team needed. Now with Micah coming to Green Bay, it has the same feeling. He's only 26, and White was over 30. If you have watched Parsons play, you know what he brings to the game. I am now calling it our triangle defense, Parsons, Gary, and Cooper. This is... Yeah, I mean, this move, it improves everybody on that defensive side. And yes, I'm sure there's going to be some, and I'm sure people have already kind of, okay, who's the other defensive lineman in a base? Who's the other defensive tackle right now for the Packers with no Kenny Clark? Who's going to be lined up next to Devontae Wyatt? I do think in obvious pass rushing situations, it might be Van Ness, as Matt LaFleur kind of alluded to in June. Remember, he kind of talked about that a little bit in June. Run situations. Could be Stackhouse, the undrafted guy. Could be Carl Brooks. They like Sorrell, the rookie. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out. But this is, you give me Micah Parsons any day of the week, man. Give me Micah Parsons 11 times out of 10. I cannot wait for this thing to get going. I cannot wait to see this defense on the field. I cannot wait. This is amazing. Amazing. Keep your thoughts coming. All right. Hit me up with those texts or comment on the video stream, okay? We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up the first hour, flying on through on this amazing Friday. This is awesome.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
ServiceMaster of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com.
Melissa Peterson here for Franz and Bank in Eau Claire. Do you want to maximize the interest on your deposits? There is no need to look any further. Earn a premium rate when you open a Real Results checking account with us. Treat your deposits right and take advantage of this fantastic offer. Stop by the Eau Claire office today or conveniently open an account online at franzandbank.com/realresults. Franz and Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Hy-Vee in Eau Claire makes grocery shopping simple. You'll find fresh produce, quality meats, a full-service deli, and a bakery with something for everyone. There's a wide selection of everyday essentials and plenty of ready-to-eat options when you're short on time. If you're planning a special meal or just want to unwind, their wine and spirits department has a great variety from local craft beers to fine wines and top-shelf liquors. It's everything you need in one stop, whether you're planning a big meal or just picking up a few things. See the difference today by shopping at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire.
Inside the 715 is the podcast all about interesting people doing interesting things right here in our community. I'm your host, Phil Tripper, and this week, listen to our episode as we talk with Brian Bethke, local musician, district representative, sometimes record maker, and sometimes hemp farmer. Inside the 715, download the latest episode today at aroundthe715.com, the Around the 715 app, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Part 1 of our conversation with Brian Bethke this week on Inside the 715.
You know, when it comes to your home, nothing changes the look and feel quite like new flooring. And I can tell you from experience, when I needed quality, service, and a team I could trust, I went to Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. They've got it all: carpet, luxury vinyl planks, tile, you name it. And it's not just about the huge selection, it's the way their team takes the time to listen to help you find the perfect fit for your style, your needs, and yes, your budget. From the moment you walk in, you feel at ease. And when it's time for installation, their professionals handle it with care, precision, and respect for your home. If you've been thinking about updating your floors, now's the time. Stop into Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and see for yourself why they're the place people trust for flooring done right. They're located at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire, and you can always check out their website at carpetcitywi.com. Carpet City Flooring Center, they'll floor you with service, selection, and savings.
Mycon Cinemas is your locally owned family theaters. Here's what's playing now: The Naked Gun, The Fantastic Four, First Steps, Jurassic World, Rebirth, Freakier Friday, Weapons, The Bad Guys 2, The Roses, Caught Stealing, The Toxic Avenger, and Nobody 2. For theaters and showtimes, find them online at myconcinemas.com.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Some call his show life-altering. Your personal takeaway may differ somewhat. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6.
News that we're not used to when it comes to the Green Bay world. So continue to send me your thoughts on the Micah Parsons trade with a quick text or comment on the video streams. Okay. We'll be talking about this all morning. I do want to talk a little Badgers. I do want to talk a little Brewers. We do have some local sports roundup as well with high school football. Got week 2 started off last night. Some local teams in action. Got more coming at you tonight. So Brandon will help us break all of that down. I mean, is cream of the crop pretty easy this week too? It's Goody, Packers, somewhere, something of that nature. But I still want to hear your thoughts. Send those on over. We've got James with a question. Well, first of all, what is this? Surfers Rule all checking in from San Diego. Let's go. All right, we got a San Diego. Heck yeah, man. What up? James with a question. With the roster cuts, are there options out there that other teams let go at D-line that could help fill the gap Clark left? One name that I don't know if first of all, I don't know if Green Bay would. They may want to roll with either like Carl Brooks or Colby Wooden or Stackhouse or when Sorrell comes back and such. So I don't know if they would be interested in bringing in another veteran type of player. But one name that I've seen thrown out there is former Packer Mike Pennell. who was recently released by the Kansas City Chiefs. He's in his mid-30s, but if you want to bring in a defensive lineman, an interior defensive lineman that could help with the run defense a bit, that could be a name out there. You bring him back into the fray. That's a name out there. I know there's some potential other veterans and such. I don't know if Green Bay is going to want to do that at this point. Who knows, though? Right now, considering what Goody's done and the Micah Parsons, who the heck knows anymore? Nobody knows what Green Bay's thinking at this point. Nobody knows. It's all been thrown out the window. We can't forecast it. So if you could ask today with Goody, LaFleur, and Micah Parsons talking to the media today in Green Bay, if you could ask one of those gentlemen one question, what would that question be? You have an opportunity to ask either Goody or LaFleur or Micah Parsons a question. What would that question be? I've been thinking about that for a while too. You know, for me, I guess for Micah Parsons, I'd be kind of curious to get his thoughts on the Reggie White analogies and comparisons that are coming out. Has he seen that? What are his thoughts on something like that? Does he embrace that? Does that motivate him? Yes, he's got the big contract now, but seeing that, you know, he's coming from Dallas to little old Green Bay, but you got the Reggie White comparisons out there. What goes through his mind? What's his thoughts when he hears that? But for Goody, I think I would ask, okay, what really what was that moment? Was there a particular moment in time that said, all right, I want to do this, or we're going to do this, or we're going to be aggressive with this? Was there, where was that moment? Because, I mean, he had all offseason. He could have drafted somebody. He could have made some other moves and such. Obviously, Micah Parsons is a completely different animal, but I'd be curious to know where was that, if there was one particular moment where he just then put all the chips in. He's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to be aggressive with this. And I think for my question for LaFleur at this point would be, all right, now, how do you, as the head coach of this team that has Super Bowl expectations it's Super Bowl or nothing. You as a head coach, how do you channel that? How do you get the job done? How do you use that? I mean, there's going to be a big pressure now. Pressure on the shoulders of him. Everybody's going to be looking at him and his staff. You bring in, Goody just brought you in this chess piece, this queen. That is one of the most dominant defensive players in the league in his prime. You are now the head coach. How do you handle that pressure? How do you go about this? How do you get your team prepared week in and week out, knowing that the target's going to be on you? Knowing that for a lot of people now, you are the favorites. And I think the other part is too, you lose Kenny Clark, who was incredibly well respected within that locker room by his teammates. Jaden Reed right away posting, not KC. That is a leader. Yes, we could talk about the age and the play and the contracts, and I agree with everybody on that. But in terms of that locker room, he was a leader and well respected by every single player on that team. So some of those players are going to be a little down. Yes, they're going to be pumped. They're excited about Micah Parsons coming in. But at the same time, there's going to be some like, dang, Casey's gone. Kind of maybe similar to the Aaron Jones effect a bit. But this is a quick turnaround. It's not like, hey, we got Josh Jacobs, but man, we lost Aaron Jones. And you had like an all offseason and preseason training camp to kind of get adjusted to it. Your season starts next week, and you lose one of your leaders. So as the head coach of this ball club now, You're in that locker room. You're the leader in that locker room. How do you keep that focus? How do you manage that? Where maybe some guys are really affected or shooken up by this. Those would be kind of the questions I would ask. All right. I got time for a few. Otherwise, shot clock's going to cut me off here. Surfers rule all Packers fans says 98 up early and so pumped. I was getting excited before this, but now LFG. Well, sir, I appreciate you tuning in all the way from San Diego. Hopefully we can get you to be tuning in as a regular now. We got listeners. Tom from across the pond in England. Waiting to hear from you, man. I know you tweeted at me. Let's get from England all the way to San Diego, east to the west. Would love it. Andy, morning DK. Handy Andy here. I'd ask Goody how many shots in did you have Jerry when this deal was made? I'm just saying Micah wanted to come to the true America's team. Josh said, I would ask, what changed with your philosophy of not trading draft picks? So I'm sure someone like McKinney will take that leadership role. Even Micah Parsons, I think, too. You got to come in with that leadership role, too. All right, we'll get back to more of your texts. News updates. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's your news done differently with Morgan McCarthy.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. We'll start in Florence County, where officials are looking for your help in identifying human remains. We'll trace it back to the original discovery. It was during the morning of Friday, October 28th, 2022, when a hunter came across human skeletal remains. This was in a rural wooded area in Florence County. We fast forward today, and the Wisconsin DOJ is now investigating those remains. They have new sketches out, and they're asking for the public's help in identifying the individual. And you can find some more information and a link to those composite sketches at 715newsroom.com. Well, as of Monday, we'll be seeing the word September on our calendars, and starting the 1st, an electronic vaping device that's not listed on the Department of Revenue's electronic vaping device directory will be illegal to offer for sale here in our state. Currently, there are 216 vaping device products listed on the directory, and the devices that contain hemp and do not contain nicotine are not required to be on the directory until July 1st of next year. You can find a link online, 715newsroom.com, for more info. This as the CDC is ending those long-running smoking ads. Probably can picture them in your mind right now. They were designed to help Americans quit smoking.
What's called the Tips from Former Smokers campaign started 13 years ago and will go off the air at the end of September due to funding cuts. The campaign has featured people telling their stories about the negative impact that smoking has had on their lives while urging others to get help quitting. Data shows the campaign led to millions attempting to quit, while more than 1 million did so successfully. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And on this Labor Day weekend, it'll be behind the wheel. And if you're headed out on the road, you are not alone. Just a reminder as well that AAA is offering those free rides in a tow for anybody that may have had too much to drink over the holiday weekend. That's called the Tow to Go program, available here in Wisconsin as a way to prevent DWIs. And if you are out, when will those hot buttons on the road be pushed? And when might you have to plan for a little more patience behind the wheel?
The best times to drive to and from your Labor Day destinations are Friday before noon, Saturday between 6 and 10 in the morning, Sunday before 11 in the morning, and Monday before noon. The worst times include Friday between noon and 8 in the evening, Saturday between 10 in the morning and 6 at night, Sunday between noon and 5 in the evening, and then there's Monday between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. As always, AAA advises making sure your car's engine is checked before any big trip, and make sure to pack some extra patience. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
You know, we had a whiteboard in the commissary here, and that's the exact listing of times where you can catch Kasper in a sort of good mood.
Friday before noon, Saturday between 6 and 10 in the morning, Sunday before 11 in the morning, and Monday before noon.
And remember, no matter the time, no matter the day, if you're walking into the Sports Talk studio,
then make sure to pack some extra patience.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Dodger filling in this morning ahead of a disturbance that will bring scattered showers to the area during the first half of today. While a few showers can't be ruled out this afternoon, will largely dry out. Clouds may even give way to some sunshine or high up to 71. For tonight, turning mostly clear. Areas of fog developing late will slip to a low of 55. And over the holiday weekend, variable sun and clouds, highs in the upper 70s. On 13 First Alert, meteorologist Derek Dolman.
For over 50 years, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine has been Western Wisconsin's trusted leader in orthopedic care. Whether you're facing bone and joint pain, sports injuries, or complex spine issues, their expert team is dedicated to helping you live pain-free. Now with their new state-of-the-art facility in Rice Lake, you can enjoy clinic visits, advanced imaging, and personalized physical therapy all under one roof. Visit cvosm.com to get back to doing what you love pain-free. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where high-quality care meets hometown commitment.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports aficionados and armchair quarterbacks, welcome to the Dan Kasper Show, where sports passion meets expert analysis. Dan's encyclopedic knowledge and infectious passion for all things sports is both impressive and sad.
I have many leather-bound books.
So get ready to laugh, cheer, and maybe even facepalm a few times.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
It's the Dan Kasper Show.
All right, second hour kicking off right now on this Friday morning. Big thanks for tuning in wherever, however you're tuning in from. Shout out again to our listener from San Diego who's tuning in this morning on our video stream. So
that's really early.
Yeah, that's what they said. He's he or she up early and so pumped. I was getting excited before this, but now LFG. With the name Surfers Rule All. So
that's a very appropriate name for being in San Diego. So welcome.
Hopefully we can get them as a regular.
There you go.
Regular on here, but obviously everybody in Packers land is pretty excited, pretty pumped, and I just got your tweet, by the way. So Mr. Berg joining us here, Mr. Brandon Berg. A lot to get to. I do want to talk a little Brewers. Badgers did get a win last night too. We've got some local sports roundup because high school football was going on last night and will be today and such. But I have to ask you, sir, as a fan of a team from across the border here.
To the west, not the south.
To the west. Or to the east, either, I guess, with the lake border if you're not Detroit fans, all right?
Fair, yeah.
You know. As a fan, and if you are a fan of another team, I know we got Bears fans and Lions fans that listen. This is my question to you, non-Packers fan. How upset are you about this from a or maybe not upset, but like, oh crap, type of reaction?
Well, it does make things easier. No, I mean it is a tremendous move by the Packers. I think. I mean, to kind of see how it went down, to see ultimately what they gave up, which 2 first-round picks isn't nothing. I mean, as you and I both, kind of connoisseurs of the draft, but barring something pretty unforeseen, those are probably be picks in the 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same value as it would be if they were a little bit higher. And, Kenny Clark, who has victimized the Vikings over the years, I think Garrett Bradbury still wakes up with night sweats from trying to block him, for the last 7 or 8 years. But, Kenny Clark, if 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark is the cost of doing business, then you do business. Like that's just how it is.
That's where I look at it, and I consider myself, Brandon, you've known me for a long time. I consider myself pretty reasonable when it comes to fan of. I looked at that, and yes, the part that surprised me is they actually moved on from Kenny Clark. But when I look at it with 2 first-round picks, which to me was always going to be the minimum,
right?
It was like 2 first rounds, and then what else? What else is it going to cost? The fact that it was just Kenny Clark, who was probably entering his final year, I've been saying it for a long time because of his cap hit just explodes next year. He's 30, and he's coming off of last year. The fact that it was just Kenny Clark to me is like, that seems like a win for Green Bay, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't know.
I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious. I want to get your perspective on it. Like, I thought, I know it's not the exact same, but 49ers traded 3 first-rounders to move up to get Trey Lance.
Right.
Khalil Mack was 2 first-rounders and some other picks, and yes, Chicago got a couple other picks in
There
return
was some
too.
swaps
But
and stuff in there, but yeah.
But I looked at it, I'm like, that to me is like, on paper, I point that to Green Bay advantage for that.
I would too.
So I thought it would be a lot more than that.
Now, the real question, though, does Micah Parsons stop the run? Because apparently that's what Jerry Jones is hung up on with Mr. Michael Parsons.
That I saw bits of it.
Yeah.
Holy moly, that press conference. That,
buddy,
this comes off the heels of the documentary, such which I haven't finished all that, but it's just like, and then probably the one quote from the night. Let me bring it up so I get it right, because I don't want to screw this up. But I saw that, and I'm like, I was waiting for it to come up, and it did. But this was one of the quotes from Jerry Jones last night. Micah Parsons did an outstanding job for us for 4 years. In a little bit of the way, Herschel Walker may have had his greatest contribution to the Cowboys. What he brought to us when he left could be a tremendous thing for our fans and the success of this team.
Does Jerry have Jimmy Johnson making those picks for him?
Right. I mean,
nobody better than me, and knows about the Herschel Walker trade, but
right,
and with how that set up the Cowboys in the '90s. But one, they didn't get it wasn't the same because it wasn't the same draft pick haul, because these are just two different eras. The draft is a lot more valued by front offices now as far as picks are at a premium. People don't like to trade picks. They just don't move as much as they did. Like almost nearly 20 years ago, Brad Johnson was traded by the Vikings in '99 for a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And I love Brad Johnson, but, think of that context these days.
Right.
So to hear that, like, it's 2 first-round picks, it's like, you're right. They could be good players. They could be great players. They could be all-pro players. But you know what you also traded? An all-pro player in his prime.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen people bring it up, and to me, it's the perfect way to describe it, is the Family Guy meme it's from the early seasons where Peter and Lois are buying a boat. And they're talking to the salesman, and they're like, you can get the boat, or you could get the mystery box. And Peter's like, Lois, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. And she's like, Peter, just take the boat. He's like, no, but there could be anything in the box. Like, that's kind of what this is like. Yeah, but those draft picks could be anything. They can be even be an all-pro player. But then meanwhile, over here is the all-pro player that you just traded.
Right.
Like, it's just, and I've seen this brought up too, like, if Jerry Jones gets this deal done last year, he probably saves about $10 to $15 million on it, and he still got Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But Jerry was Jerry, and...
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you saw this too. It was a great question. I don't know who asked this, but one of the reporters asked, okay, so, you got other players on here that are maybe looking for extensions or looking for extensions in the future. What do you say to those players? Like, how do you negotiate? Because this whole thing transpired from Jerry wanting to negotiate with just the player and not an agent, sort of thing. And it was a great question. Like, what do you tell these other players? And Jerry's response was, ask Dak. Dak's the highest paid player in the NFL. I'm like but that is just one of the dumbest responses. For that whole thing was just part of me feels bad for Cowboys fans, but I really don't.
Yeah.
But part of me is like, and I keep thinking about even probably for you too, because you have an ownership group, we don't, but it's like, thank gosh.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Thank gosh.
And look, even when we're looking at baseball, like, we have our things that we haven't liked about Mark Anastasio, but one of the things you could always say is like, what could be worse?
It could be worse.
And in football, I feel like both of us probably feel pretty good about the people that are owning the team we cheer for, and that's not always the case when you look around the league. And to see at this point, I mean, it really does seem like the Dallas Cowboys are just kind of like, well, to me, it's like, who's the most important player on the Cowboys? Like, is it Dak Prescott? You could have made the case Micah Parsons. Is CeeDee Lamb? Jerry Jones probably thinks it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah, that's how I was going to answer it. I seriously question now, does the guy even care about a Super Bowl championship anymore,
Right.
or does he just care about the attention?
Right.
I
Because
don't know anymore.
because this morning, obviously, everybody everywhere, even if you're not in Green Bay or you're not in the Metroplex, you're gonna be talking about this. This is legitimate national news. And I have to imagine the vast majority of it will not be kind to him.
No.
But is he just sitting there kind of with a smile on his face saying, well, they're talking about me? It's like, kind of the idea of any publicity is good publicity, which I do not agree with. But
right. But he does.
Exactly. He does. Like, okay,
I-
great. Well, and now in 6 days, you got to go play Philadelphia. And you don't got Micah Parsons.
Did you hear the one response too? Because Green Bay and Dallas do play each other in week 4.
Yeah.
And he was asked, hey, you got to go up against Micah Parsons in week 4. And his response was, we better jump out to a lead and run the football after that. I mean, way to like just spew confidence in your team then. Right? Yeah. I mean, for
it better
crying
go a
out
certain
loud.
way if we're gonna win.
I don't know. I really
and the thing is too, like, is it gonna get any better when his son takes over?
I don't think so.
Right.
Unless he just like he's being a good son and supporting his
he's just
dad
kind of playing his father, following his father's play, and then says, okay, we're doing things different. Maybe it will.
Right.
But from what I know from Cowboys fans, I know they don't have that feeling. They think it's gonna be more of the same.
Right. And like our new listener from San Diego says, what's crazy is just how big of a market the Cowboys have, and he's doing this stuff.
Right. It's one thing if you're, we know, like, Cleveland's ownership.
Right.
And Cleveland has a very passionate, loyal fan base. But, the Dallas Cowboys, it's a national brand. It's a worldwide brand. Look, no matter what you want to say about the Cowboys, it's one of the most recognizable sports franchises there is.
Yes.
And you have an ownership right now that seems to think that's more important maybe than winning. Or the most important thing is, ownership being placed front and center.
Right.
They're the star. If this is a TV show, it's not starring Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and whoever. It's starring Jerry Jones.
Yep. With Jerry Jones.
Special appearance by Jerry Jones. Craft services, Jerry Jones.
There's just for Dallas sports in general, from the Luka trade to this, I don't know what's going on down there. Or I mean,
I had seen someone, and I thought it was funny, bring up the point like, well, if the NFL is anything like the NBA, maybe Goodell will rig the draft so they can get Mr. Manning. But I'm like, that's a little bit tougher to do in the NFL.
It is, but yeah, I just was thinking about that last night. I'm like, Luka's out. If you're just like a diehard Dallas sports fan, how are you feeling in the last few months?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the number 1 pick, but still, it's Luka.
I was saying, Cooper Flag could be a very good player, but it's Luka Doncic.
Right. I something in the water,
as
Shooter McGavin would like to say. Oh, more. We'll have more on this throughout the morning here, but I do want to hit up on a couple other topics. Keep the texts and the comments coming, though. 715-830-1912 with a quick text on that Shoe Doctors Bullpen line, or join our good buddy Surfers Rule All on YouTube right now. Hey, he or she's chiming in right now.
Good.
Keep it coming there.
Good.
So let's get those rolling here. So reminder, we are going to hear from Goody, LaFleur, and Micah Parsons later on this afternoon when they do their press availability too. So, really quick, I know odds makers have Green Bay jumped up and all that. I still think this division is going to be a hell of a race this year.
Oh yeah, I was actually this conversation I was having with some people, down before the Chahai Memorial football game last night. It's like, if this wasn't the best division in the NFL, it is now.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at it, I mean, right now the Bears are the weak link, and the Bears are still a team that could win, 7, 8, maybe more, depending on how things go games. Like, there's no, you can make the case about the AFC North too, but then you get the Browns in there.
Right.
So, but like top to bottom, like, especially now, like, you can make a legitimate case for at least 3 of these teams winning it.
Right. I totally agree.
And you can make a case for, if things go right, each of the teams, not necessarily all of them at the same time, but all 4 of the teams making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is, I guess it moved the needle quite a bit with this move, but I still think this is going to be a dogfight this year for the division. Maybe maybe it takes a little bit of that spotlight off of a Lions team where it's like, okay, hey, now we come attack. I can't wait. I'm going to be nervous.
I'm saying that's week, and and right away we jump in with 2 division matchups. So
right, it's going to be, I think, a very high blood pressure 18 weeks.
Right, because this, I mean, I'm sure you've already brought this up too, but like this pushes. I mean, this definitely pushes up the sense of urgency.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit more pressure on everybody else now because, hey, they made this move. Like, you got to up your game. Receivers, you got to stop dropping the ball. Jordan Love, you got to start being a little more consistent. Like, this is on everybody now.
It is on everybody. It's I mean, it's like, okay, Rashawn Gary, even Rashawn Gary, like for somebody like that, hey, you're probably not going to get as much attention anymore. So can you go wreak havoc and get your first double-digit sack season over everybody? The urgency, the press. Goody has put his. I fully believe Goody has put his job on the line with this move.
Yeah,
because you got a new CEO who's already said, "Yeah, I'm not going to give a contract extension right now." Kind of downplays, like I don't think it. They got 2 years, but I don't believe in lame duck. So we'll look at it after all. You sacrifice a lot for a move like this. You're already in a tight salary. This to me is like, yeah, that's a job defining move. But I got to give him credit because what he say after the season? It's time we compete for championships. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do? What's your part in this? Here we go.
All right.
He did this. Now coaching staff and players have to do their part. So there's a lot of excitement, but I also would agree that a lot of pressure is on this ball club too. But pressure is a privilege, right?
It is.
It is a privilege. I'd rather be in this situation than instead of like, well, hopefully we win a couple games this year.
Right.
So, all right, let's take a quick break. Keep sending us your thoughts, though. All right, 715-830-1912, or hit us up on the video streams. Quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You're listening to The Dan Kasper Show.
When it comes to your home, nothing changes the look and feel quite like new flooring. And I can tell you from experience, when I needed quality, service, and a team I could trust, I went to Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. They've got it all: carpet, luxury vinyl planks, tile, you name it. And it's not just about the huge selection, it's the way their team takes the time to listen to help you find the perfect fit for your style, your needs, and yes, your budget. From the moment you walk in, you feel at ease. And when it's time for installation, their professionals handle it with care, precision, and respect for your home. If you've been thinking about updating your floors, now's the time. Stop into Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and see for yourself why they're the place people trust for flooring done right. They're located at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire, and you can always check out their website at carpetcitywi.com. Carpet City Flooring Center, they'll floor you with service, selection, and savings. When my vehicle needs work, there's only one place I trust, and that's AJM Automotive in Eau Claire. From oil changes and brake jobs to engine repairs, the team at AJM Automotive does it all. Plus, they even do small engine work, so if you have an issue with your lawnmower, they can take care of that as well. They're honest, upfront, and treat you like a neighbor, not just another ticket. So if you want dependable work at a fair price, take it to AJM Automotive in Eau Claire. Just give them a call today at 715-835-9523.
In today's business environment, you need internet that's as strong as your ambitions. TDS Fiber Internet is designed to meet the highest demand, offering blazing fast symmetrical speeds and rock-solid 99.9% network reliability. Fortify your business with internet that delivers unmatched strength and durability. Upgrade to industrial-strength TDS Fiber Internet. Built to endure, built for your business. Visit tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed, subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Behold the Colonel's Giant KFC Chicken Sandwich, a towering, extra crispy monument to flavor. Such a huge amount of juicy, hand-breaded KFC chicken at a pretty tiny $3.99 price. For the Colonel's KFC Chicken Sandwich. I mean, $3.99 isn't even worthy of the same epic soundtrack as the KFC Chicken Sandwich for only $3.99. The Colonel lived so we could chicken.
Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
I'm Sheila, and I've been on Nutrafol for 1 year. I ignored my hair thinning because I was a full-time working mother. But then I came across Nutrafol. It was a hair growth supplement that was so easy to fit into my life. After just a few months, I was amazed by how much thicker and stronger my hair was. I finally feel like myself again.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Real customers were compensated to share their stories.
Broadcasting live from the TDS Sports Talk 105.1 studios, it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Our good mutual friend Nick with a quick text here this morning. I can hear the chants coming from the Shawano bowling alley. Go, Dan, go, go, Pack, go. There's probably only a handful of people who get that, but
that's fine.
You're one of them.
We're two of them, so that works.
Exactly. So, Josh, I've seen this thrown out there quite a bit. Says Favre had White. They won a Super Bowl at the age of 27. Rodgers had Matthews. They won a Super Bowl, age 27. Love has Parsons and is 27. So, our resident Bears fan, Hetch, says that trade doesn't make me happy. So, there we go.
I hear you.
Yep. Keep them coming. Keep those thoughts coming. We'll get back to more of your thoughts on the big trade from yesterday, the big sports story. It's not just it's a huge sports story out there. It just happens to involve the one Green Bay Packers here. So, I mean, yeah, you even go to the mothership. The first two stories are Parsons trade with the Packers, and then Jones Parsons trade will make Cowboys better. Yeah. I'm sure if he's logging on with my top headline right now. Yep, there we go.
Oh, sort of,
yeah. Last night though, too. Well, a couple things. Badger football kicked off their season last night, 17-0 against Miami of Ohio.
The
Miami of Ohio. Did not cover by half a point, I think it was, unless that changed right before the game. But 17-0. Billy Edwards Jr. Leaving the game early due to an injury. For those of you wondering, so we did not have Dr. Cron. He was unavailable here this morning. But I did ask him this morning his thoughts on Billy Edwards Jr. Said that sounds like it's an ankle, not a knee, which is a good sign. Haven't seen any updates, though.
And I think the thing that was encouraging is in the second half, you saw him walking around the sideline.
Yeah.
And there was kind of a limp, but it wasn't too much. Like, he wasn't out there, on crutches with his leg wrapped up. Like,
because I'm sure I wasn't the only one, but non-contact, it's like Achilles.
Right. That's the first thing now that's the first thing when you hear you automatically go to.
Right. And just like the way it was like, oh no, did he have an Achilles? But yeah, I agree with you. The fact that he was out there and walking around
and cheering,
it was just kind of weird because it kind of was a non-contact. So I don't know if he just kind of rolled the ankle a little bit,
right?
Essentially, but doesn't seem serious. So hopefully,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I'm sure we'll learn more here coming up.
Maybe he's out next week, but back for Alabama the week after. Who knows? But nonetheless, you look at this, and yesterday we were kind of saying like, okay, if they don't cover, is it going to be the same reaction? Kind of like from last year, but how much you factor in it was new quarterback had to come in.
Right.
And the defense shut him out.
Well, even when we talked about it last Friday, I think my pick was right around. I think I had him to cover, but barely. Because I think it was 17.5, because I think I said like 35-17 or something like that.
Yep.
So I think it's just it's funny because it could have been a 34-17 game versus 17-0 game. And I think you probably would have had a margin, or a much different reaction.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, so far, this team under Luke Fickell really hasn't had any dominant non-conference thing you're looking for there. And yeah, you can use a bit of grace for the quarterback situation, what happened, and out of the pick in the second half, I like Danny O'Neal. He's an experienced guy. He started last year at San Diego State, so it's not like he's someone coming in there without. But shout out to the defense, though. Shout out to Mike Tressel, because look, that was a much maligned defense, and look, you can say, oh, it's Miami of Ohio, and that's true, but DeQuan Finn's not a bad quarterback. He's anytime you hold a team to 34 yards rushing
on 22 carries,
right, especially for a team last year that I don't care, they struggle against the run. that was at least something encouraging to take out of it, even if the offense was a little, I would just say it felt disjointed at times for their first time out.
Right. That's where, like, I do give it a little bit of a, how do I want to say this? Even though they didn't cover, but I don't know if I want to say a pass or anything like that. I think there was more positives than negatives to come out of this game. Would that be fair to kind of say with this?
I mean,
Besides the injury
well,
to
I was
Billy
gonna say,
Edwards,
there may not be a lot of people that say that, but I would tend to believe in it a little bit. Now the big thing is, we'll see next week. Like, do you build off it?
Right.
Is this more of the same? Because again, this is kind of how it's been for their non-conference games, the previous 2 years as well. I mean, but the thing I like, and maybe part of it is just they're up, like, because they were up, but like, if you go to rush, I mean, they ran for 165 yards. They averaged just shy of 4 yards a carry, which isn't stupendous.
Right.
But last year, the Badgers were unbeaten when they ran for 150 yards or more. And the thing that's nice is you look at the carries. 14 for Dylan Jones, 8 for Darren Dupree, 6 for Cade Yakimelli, 11 for O'Neal, who can run, who's more of a running quarterback. Like, and even a couple receivers too. Like, it did seem like in this offense, there's more of an effort to kind of spread the wealth.
Right.
And, especially if you're going to be a run team, I think that's important because you're not, the days of Ron Dane getting 30, 35 carries are over. Like, that's not happening anywhere. So to spread the wealth, knowing you've got talent running back, but yeah, you've got to build on this. You can't come back next week and play a 23-7 game.
Yeah. No, so I'm definitely curious now. I think, okay, I agree with you. How do you build upon that going into next week? And you go back to the defense too. Remember, this was a defense, with Tressel net. It was probably the hottest of hot seats, maybe, of that, because there's a lot of questions whether this was the right guy to lead the defense.
I was definitely someone coming out of last year. I know that was very disappointed with the defense, not just the results, but how they were doing it. They just seemed passive, and they seemed, small.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely made the effort to upgrade in the trenches with some big guys. I think that's part of this, but also they just seemed to play a little more aggressive, and I like that. Like, that's, I mean, you can go back to Jim Leonard when he was the D coordinator, even much further back than that. When this team's had really good defenses, they've been able to get after it. They haven't been the drop 8 and, play coverage.
Right. So, because I honestly feel like too, if they were going to be a team that is going to have one of those marquee victories or those signature wins that we've talked about for Luke Fickell and that, I think a lot of it's going to have to come from the defense holding a lot of those teams.
Forcing some turnovers and being able to run the ball and control the clock. I think that's also part of this too. And that's something going back to last year with the struggles the defense had, or the offense had. Defense was on the field a lot. And I think that's something you can't really overlook. You look at the time of possession last night. The Badgers held the ball for more than 39 minutes, nearly 2-1.
Yeah. That reminds me of old Wisconsin, right?
I was going to say, even if it wasn't the most efficient game, like, there were things you saw that you said, okay, I can get behind that. A fullback dive.
Yeah, right.
They're getting a fullback
Twitter
dive.
went nuts after that.
Like, oh my gosh, like, seeing them near the goal line, lining up. Like, I think in the second half, it might have been the drive where O'Neal had to touch the quarterback sneak, where it's like, they're in the power eye. Like, they motioned, I think it was tight end, some of the back from, like, hey, that's the power eye. Like, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like shotgun.
Forrest, spreading them out. But, like, no, like, yeah, no one's going to walk away from this happy.
Right.
The players and the coaches aren't. But you kind of squint. I think you can see a couple things. You're like, okay, you can build on that. But you have to. That's the thing. You have to build on it.
You have to. You absolutely have to.
165 rushing yards this week. Next week against Middle Tennessee, try to get over 200.
Yep. Season, we'll talk some more college football coming up here too, because we got some really big games.
Yeah, we do. Come on.
Come on.
As much as I love week 0,
Texas,
come on. This is big. This first week.
You got to be just like, this is your jam.
This is my jam.
To see this Texas and Ohio State. I know it's Ohio State now, but come on now. This is the marquee game of the weekend.
Yes.
And then we get to starting right at 11 too. So I can't wait for it, just as a football fan. And as you said, you and I are both draft people. this is the game. I can't wait to see that. So, before though we take another break here, I do want to do like that. You got a little like your mini old ice cooler right
It's
there.
my mini cooler right here, yeah.
That's awesome.
And
Nice.
it's slightly, and the can is slightly rotating a little bit too, so that was cool.
Look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, look at you. Hey, let's do some local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. Staying with the football theme here. So last night we did have some local teams. We'll start off in your neck of the woods where Chi High putting on an offensive show against Eau Claire Memorial last night.
Yeah, pulling away. I mean, that was a one-score game at halftime. Chip ended up winning 33-6. Jalen Smith returns the opening kickoff of the second half, 91 yards for a touchdown. It seemed like that was kind of the thing that broke it open a little bit. A very physical game. I mean, with Chippewa, you're going to get the run game, but there are some passes in there. But Eau Claire Memorial is able to move the ball on the ground a little bit too. I mean, these are two teams that combined for more than 500 yards on the ground. Chippewa had 375, but Memorial had 155 too. And it was a physical game. I mean, obviously this is a non-conference league. I mean, Chippewa Falls and Eau Claire have been playing football as long as Chippewa Falls have football, and that goes back to 1895.
Right.
So, but a big win for the Cardinals. I think these first 2 weeks for the Old Abes, I talked with Coach Westcott after the game, like there's things to be encouraged about there. When you look at how they played with Hudson, kind of a bit of a similar script last night with Chippewa, but I think a Memorial team that's heading in the right direction. It's just, these things take time.
Right.
And
you got to have patience.
Exactly. But I think there's things to be encouraged about there, but still a big win for Chippewa coming off a game against Stevens Point where they felt like, they were really in it until it kind of got away a little bit in the fourth quarter and kind of a play here, a play there. But being able to run the ball big time, the defense kind of bent but didn't break. And then, really closed out strong. I mentioned the big play in special teams. And, now Chippewa's going to roll into the Big Rivers opener next week. And it's a big one because they go to play New Richmond, the defending conference champions, on the road. So, but overall on the night, among the 7, games that were, all between a Big Rivers versus Wisconsin Valley, the Big Rivers won 6 of them. River Falls picked up a 54-21 win over DC Everest. New Richmond 48-10 over North. Hudson 30-14 over Wausau West. Rice Lake 30-14 over Rapids, and Menominee 30-16 over Marshfield, with Stevens Point being the Wisconsin Valley team to win. That was 41-20 over Superior. So, coming into next week, with the Big Rivers getting underway, I mean, it's going to be strong again.
Yeah.
I mean, New Richmond won it last year.
They looked the part last night.
They're probably a favorite to do it again this year, but they're going to have some tough competition throughout. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops and kind of how things lay out there.
Right. I know, Dr. Crow, part of the staff of Regis.
Regis picking up the shutout win over Bloomer, 49-0. Last night, Osseo fell 41-0 Glenwood City, but shout out to the Thunder because last week they snapped a long losing streak that went back several years with their big win. I believe it was over in Necedah. So I think that was a 30-some game skid. And even last year, Osseo didn't play a varsity season. They were playing a JV season, but they're back on varsity, and they've got a win, and that might not be their last win this year under the belt. So shout out to that that team and that staff, because that can be a tough thing to do. Kind of come back when you haven't played a varsity game, and then but obviously they get a younger group of kids that they're confident in, so they're going to roll into conference play next week, looking to kind of build off that opener and maybe learn some lessons from a tough loss last night to Glenwood City.
I want to go back to a couple of games from last week here quick, but just how impressive was that of Gilman over Owen Withee last night in last week in 8-man football?
I mean, it's impressive, but that's a bit of a different Owen Withee team from last year, but still to come out of the gates for Gilman and get that big win. I mean, that's a team that, back in the North Central East Conference this year. I mean, if you're going to ask my opinion, it's probably come down to Gilman and McDonald, and they play later on in September. That might be the game. Thorpe is another team that's going to be, I think it's going to have some wins being there. Owen Withee's still going to win some games and be in that conversation. I mean, that's too well coached of a team to not have some success this year. So, but that's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
Kind of, with Gilman, bringing their younger team too, but they got some big kids back. You kind of fast forward to last night. It's the other half of that conference, but no, Auburn with the big win over Holcomb, they're 2-0 now too. We're maybe early on kind of starting to see some of these 8-player teams. And remember, the 8-player season is 1 week shorter.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's only 8 weeks. So week 9 for 11-man will be the first round of the playoffs, and they expanded the playoffs too. So, but New Auburn was a team that had a case to make the playoffs last year. They were 6-2. They beat a playoff team. It wasn't, Gilman's same boat. So, I mean, those are 2 teams that were legitimately good last year, and they brought back, some key players on there. So, you kind of fast forward in the night. I'm going to be at DeRay Field for McDonald and Clayton. That's a state ranked battle. That's 2 ranked 8-player teams. I think McDonald's 2nd and Clayton's like 7th or 8th. So, I mean, that's, the last 2 times those teams have played, they've been close. McDonald's won the last 2 meetings, but they've been by a combined 4 points. So that should be I think a pretty good one.
Absolutely. And you've got some switching a little bit over. You got volleyball that you're going to be watching
I'm going
today.
to be John. If you're watching the live stream, you can see me. I'll be jaunting over to Menominee after this morning to make some rounds for the UW Stout Sprawl, which is going on, which is a big 40-some team tourney that takes place at Johnson Fieldhouse and just at on the campus at Stout. So it's I would say probably the premier local early season tournament for volleyball, just because you have so many local teams. I mean, so many teams from the Big Rivers and the Western Clover Belt, the Lakeland, defending Division III champion Barron is there, I believe. So, I mean, it's just loaded. And it's always fun. Volleyball is one of those sports, and this event is the example of it, where if you're a really good smaller school team, you can play a bigger school team. If you're a McDonald, you can go up and play a Chippewa Falls or a Memorial and probably hold your own in there. But it's always such a mind blower for me when you look and you'll see here's Eau Claire North and they're playing Prairie Farm. But you can do it. It's one of those sports, you obviously you can't do that in football, or there's certain sports you really can't, but it's just interesting to me. And it's fun just to kind of see that. And it's always such a big event. There's always so many people there. So I'm looking forward. It's my first volleyball matchup of the year. So I'm looking forward to trying to remember how to shoot photos for volleyball.
Nice. I know we got tennis going on too, because I know, my good buddy Jake, who's the women's head coach from Medford Tennis, they're actually going to be over here because it's Altoona, Eau Claire North. It's kind of one of their invites and groups over there too. So the tennis season's
everything's pretty much underway now. We had some cross country yesterday. We'll have some more this weekend into next week. Soccer's underway. We've already had some non-conference games around the area. So I mean,
golf is
golf's been going for a couple weeks already. So
So definitely with schools, some schools have started. Some will start next week and such, but fully underway.
Everything. At this point, we are full speed ahead for the fall.
Right. So, all right, that's your local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. Let's take a quick break. Keep sending me your Packers thoughts and such. Text me. Actually, before we take a break, I'll go through a couple of texts here. C-Bomb with a couple of them. Saying all that moisture outside, tears of all the NFC North fans seeing the Packers finally going all in. I love Goot. He values his draft picks like TT did, but he utilizes free agency and trades. Started with Amos, Smith Brothers, Billy Turner, then to McKinney, and I would say Josh Jacobs on there too. Now trading for Parsons. What an architect. So fired up. Let's go. Goot could go to prison, though. Robbery like this is a felony in Texas. The Jets got more for Jamal Adams than Dallas got for Parsons. I saw that too. Steve says the only problem with the trade is that we did not get punt returner David Putney. You don't get that because that's a draft day reference. You and I still have to watch that together. So, Mark, I'm in Charlotte, not quite as far east as England for football tonight, but I had to turn your show on this morning. I especially wanted to hear my buddy C-Bomb's reaction, as I knew he would be pumped beyond belief. P.S. for your picks, UNC Charlotte over Appalachian State tonight in Duke's Mayo Classic. So, David says, I know this is going to be very unpopular with all the Packers Homer fans, but the Cowboys weren't Super Bowl contenders with Parsons. And like Goody said, they weren't one person away from a Super Bowl team. Obviously, the Packers just got better, but I'm not quite sure they're at the Super Bowl contenders level all of a sudden. Would you agree with that?
I think part of that would be just the division
Mhm.
itself. I mean, it'd be one thing if there's not quite as clear of a pathway.
Yeah.
Like if it's
I think there's more to it than just saying, well, the Cowboys weren't good last year and they had Parsons. There's also 52 other players on there. And at that point, it's like, okay, which roster, though, altogether was better? Green Bay had a better roster last year without Micah Parsons, I would argue. They were a better team than Dallas last year without Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons was probably their better player. And now you just added Micah Parsons to this roster. So, yeah, I would say that they easily moved up in terms of like they got better. 100%. A couple more. Was that it? Nope. I think that was it. So, all right, let's take a quick break and we'll take a short break and talk some Brewers to wrap up the second hour. But we'll definitely get back to some more football talk coming up after these quick words.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Are you looking for the perfect firearm or the accessories for that perfect firearm? Well, Tilden Gun is the place to go. Whether you're just starting out or adding to your collection, they offer a wide selection of rifles, shotguns, handguns, and ammunition to fit your needs. But what sets Tilden Gun apart is their knowledgeable staff, ready to guide you through every decision, helping you find the right equipment at the right price. They pride themselves on outstanding customer service and treating every person who walks in the door with respect. With competitive pricing, you can trust that you're getting great value without compromising on quality. And don't look now, hunters, but hunting season is right around the corner, so it's the perfect time to visit Tilden Gun. So visit Tilden Gun today at 12427 98th Avenue in Chippewa Falls, or check out their website at tildengun.com. Tilden Gun, your go-to destination for firearms, accessories, and expert advice.
In today's business environment, you need internet that's as strong as your ambitions. TDS Fiber Internet is designed to meet the highest demand, offering blazing fast symmetrical speeds and rock-solid 99.9% network reliability. Fortify your business with internet that delivers unmatched strength and durability. Upgrade to industrial-strength TDS Fiber Internet. Built to endure, built for your business. Visit tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed, subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
If you're looking for a great spot to relax, grab a bite, and enjoy good company, you've got to check out the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire. It's the kind of place where the food is tasty, the drinks are cold, and the atmosphere feels like home. Whether it's their famous fish fry, a burger night, or meeting up with friends after work, VFW Post 305 is where neighbors gather and good times happen. So swing by, pull up a chair, and see why locals keep coming back. Check out the VFW Post 305 today, located at 1300 Star Avenue in Eau Claire.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state, only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
He serves up a whole lot of sports with a whole lot of opinion, which means you've got a whole lot of listening to do. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Josh from Colfax says some fans forget that last season the Packers ended the season with a top 10 defense. Overall, the move will make this defense top 5 easily. So definitely get back to some more football talk. It's probably an easy cream of the crop for a lot of people when we get to that segment coming up next hour. But I do want to touch on some Brewers here because Brewers falling yesterday ended up splitting the 4-game series against the Diamondbacks. Now on the road for an intriguing series with the Toronto Blue Jays, and then right after that, it's going to be the Philadelphia Phillies, who are Kyle Schwarber 4 home runs last night.
I think he just homered again.
Right? It's like, oh, yep. I want them to redo that MLB.com poll that they did earlier in the week where Shohei was just still dominating the MVP vote in the National League. It's like, you sure about that? Schwarber's got something to maybe say about this right now. So, but you see the Brewers obviously still during this stretch, no off days, losing a few games here and there. Does this look like a team that just they need that off day to kind of maybe rest and kind of get back in the groove of things?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just going to have to grind through it. You got 4 games left before it. If you go 2-2, to me that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just and you hear a lot about it, but it's like when you look at just the last few days how the pitching has had to go, especially the relief pitching, like it kind of speaks to they're just trying to figure out how do we get through today.
Mm-hmm.
And a byproduct of kind of the bullpen being gassed right now is starters aren't going deep into games.
Right.
Like this is it's
look at Quintana last night.
Quintana yesterday, like but it goes in further than that. Like you just haven't had very many pitchers go beyond 5 innings here. And there's a big difference between going 5 innings and going 6 innings. That's the difference between having to cover almost half the game if you're the bullpen and having to cover 3 innings.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's where it starts is the starters are not getting deep enough in the games right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of had a cascading effect on the bullpen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You look at it yesterday. I mean, this is where guys like a Tobias Myers and those guys who can provide you those long inning release have been such a big boost for this ball club going forward.
Right. And I think that's, a little bit where they're missing DL Hall right now because
Mm-hmm.
he was a guy that would, go, 2-3 innings if you gave him that shot. So I'm kind of curious, and this will be more probably maybe a September thing. But how Robert Gasser might fit into that thing.
Yeah.
Like, is he kind of just a guy that maybe takes that spot because is Aaron Ashby going to be deployed a little bit more as a straight, kind of like a more of a situational lefty?
Mm-hmm.
Because with Hall being out, Jared Koenig struggled. There's no way around that. He struggled here recently. So who's that go-to lefty? We might see Rob Zastryzny back with this team.
Yep.
But is he someone that, you're going to immediately trust in a big spot? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, once September rolls around, they're able to add a position player and a hitter. Kind of feels like that position player and a pitcher. Kind of feels like that position player probably Rhys Hoskins.
Right.
And then that pitcher, we'll see. I still think that, once you get beyond Tuesday, you start getting off days and stuff in there too. But, is this team going to still want to maybe sprinkle in a 6th starter if they can?
Mm-hmm.
Just because, again, there's so many people here that they're kind of on the innings limit with where that might be the difference between one fewer start and, maybe a little bit more postseason availability.
Right. Jackson Chirio sounds like he's coming back this weekend. So, to get his bat, I know he didn't have the greatest numbers in AAA and such. But, I would think just him, and we saw him with the team yesterday, just having him back is going to create a spark, I would think.
And he's been gone about a month. He was gone. He was injured near the end of that Cubs series at the end of July. And in a spot like that, you look at it's been largely Brent Lockridge, but also Blake Perkins. And in that spot, like all you can ask for someone like Blake Perkins is like, look, you're not going to be Jackson Chirio, but can you give us like a couple hot weeks? And he did. Those first few weeks of August, he played pretty well. He hit pretty well. And now he's going to come back more to who he is, which is a good defender, but not the greatest hitter in the world.
Right.
But he gave you a couple weeks kind of, hitting above his head a little bit. That's really all you can ask. But yeah, now is the time where like, those guys really shouldn't be playing 3-4 times a week. Blake Perkins is a great guy to have, he's a great defensive sub to come in, but he should be starting a time or two a week.
Mm-hmm.
So that on a good team, that's how, and maybe we're going to get a little bit closer to that now with Churio coming back, jumping back into center field. We'll see how they kind of take it there, but I think that you're getting healthy. I mean, this is why you can afford to be a little more cautious. It sounds like Jory Ortiz could be back next week.
Right.
That doesn't sound like that's a long-term thing. And hey, credit to Andrew Monasterio. He is, not just offensively, but defensively. I mean, he's no Jory Ortiz when it comes defensively, but he's made plays.
He's made plays. There's been a couple, but he's also made his handful of really good plays
Like
out there too.
I think and it's the same situation with him.
Yeah.
Andrew Monasterio is not the kind of guy you want to play for a month or two at a time.
Right.
But you go up to him in this week and say, hey, can you just find a way to give us a hot week?
Yep.
And he has.
Yep. You got to give him credit. Especially,
they haven't won, as many games as recently, but I wouldn't put that on him.
No.
So it's just, between these two games, they're like 2 for 20 something with runners in scoring position. Like, that's going to happen. They were one of the top hitting teams, runners in scoring position in the league. Like, eventually, it just kind of comes and goes. It's frustrating. It's frustrating as all heck watching these last two games. Saying, man, this kind of got away, especially Wednesday night. It's like, man, that just one hit, couldn't get one hit. It's like, well, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the San Francisco Giants, we got them warmed up. So
exactly.
Thank you, San Francisco. Thank you, Willie Adames.
Yep. Because Milwaukee's still 6.5 up
because they swept the Cubs.
Yep. 5.5. You count the tiebreaker situation
still,
in there, but still, you didn't really lose any ground. You didn't lose any ground with this series. So
thank you. Now this weekend the Cubs are in Colorado. So Colorado, come on.
Colorado, pick it up.
Find a way.
Find a way.
Our fellow Molson Coors friends over there.
Yeah. So
come on, find a way.
Try to help it out because it's going to be. I think this is going to be a good test for the Brewers coming up with this Blue Jay series.
These two series here in a row, especially these first 4 games, you're kind of grinding out. Like,
yep.
You can see the finish line, I'm sure, for them. The off day, but it's like you got to get there.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say, well, we got a day off in 4 days. Like you got to kind of grind through it and figure out a way to get there. And man, this weekend there's some fun pitching matchups.
There is. Speaking of pitching, what was your thoughts on the Eric Fetty signing?
It's fine. It's a guy. At this point, he's a guy he's a major leaguer.
Remember, he was like a couple years ago. It was like a trade target.
Was
it last year? Okay.
Like last year. Literally, the trade deadline last year, he was one of the best starters that was moved. And, this year it just has not worked for him. It's been a struggle. But, I mean, at this point, you're looking for someone that's stretched out, that can give you length, and is a major league pitcher. Like, this is a guy that might not be on the team 2 weeks. We don't know.
Right.
Like, remember Dallas Keuchel last year?
Yep.
That's kind of the comparison. Like, we don't know. Like, look, his first time out, I thought he did well.
He did his job.
He did his job.
You know,
there was the one swing from the Diamondbacks that led to the home run. Otherwise, he threw strikes.
Yep.
And he was around the zone. He was competitive. He didn't walk anybody.
And he 8 innings up. So
that's all you can ask for in that spot.
Yep.
Like that's by the time you get to October, is Eric Fetty a guy that's probably going to be on that postseason roster if he's still even with the team?
Right.
No. But he's not. He may not be Mr. Right, but he's Mr. Right now.
Right.
Like you are needed right now.
Yep.
And the first time out, he answered the call.
Yeah, I agree. So Trevor McGill's going to be out for a while here. I mean, hopefully that's not a long-term issue. At least it doesn't sound like it at this point. But it is always kind of interesting when we see these injured lists after a couple like subpar performances from a player, and then it's like, 15-day IL for this. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. There's like, is it truthfully, sort of thing. But we'll see how that kind of plays out here too. But it's gonna we got 27 games left to go in this this thing.
A little over a month.
And the thing is too, like I know during the stretch you had like the Brewers non-believers kind of coming out there saying, "See, we told you." But you look across. I mean, nobody really made up any ground.
No.
On the Brewers, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you could say that about the Brewers, but nobody else really made up any grounds going towards them for crying out loud.
I said, this is just baseball.
They're still the only team with 80 or more wins in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's been frustrating, kind of going back, I guess, to the Cubs series. Because I think the thing that's frustrating is because so many of these losses, you feel like they were winnable.
Yeah. Yep.
But, and I get that, but it's like, this happens. Like, I think a lot of people got spoiled from that, month or 2 month stretch where like they weren't losing back-to-back games outside of the 2 games I was at, which, you're going to blame me for. So.
Oh, I thought about blaming your mom for that Sunday game because I'm like, oh, wait, no, Brandon's mom's I know is at this game too.
So see, it's not me.
So I think you're exonerated.
Yeah,
I think it might be your mom.
I am exonerated.
I think it's your mom
Oh.
or Rocky. No, it'd be Rocky wasn't with you.
He wasn't.
So it's got to be your mom. Sorry, Brandon's mom, you can't go to another Brewer game.
I don't know what else it could possibly be.
Let's connect the dots here. Don't go to another Brewer game the rest of the year. Playoffs definitely do not go. We don't need the bad mojo.
Bad juju.
The bad juju. So sorry, Ma. Take one for the team though. Because I want 2025 into 2026 a World Series championship and a Super Bowl. Come on now.
And
it's like 2011 all over again.
And
a little
quick
bit.
lane bowl championship. Let's get to a bowl game, Badgers. And the Bucks, come on, you two win.
Yeah.
But
yep. Okay. Shot clock's gonna cut me off here, or cut us off here in less than a minute. So coming up next hour, Packers fans, if you're just joining in, where have you been? Join in on the fun. Let us know. Hit us up your text. Let's talk a little bit more about this football squad. I'm getting confused now because people are texting me. Your mom just said World Series? ? Don't know what she means.
I think she's saying, can she go to the World
Oh,
Series?
no, you can't. You can't. No, don't. You can't. And oh, yeah, she said I have to go to one. No.
What if it's like game 1?
No. Every game matters. If it works to where your mom doesn't go to a game for the rest of the year and in the postseason and they advance to the World Series, I think you would agree, Brandon, like, don't mess it. Don't.
I think she's probably going to more games, though.
Don't
That's just
mess up with it.
Educated guess on my part.
Well, then she's going to have to deal with the consequences if
What if they
something
win?
happens. Is that a risk you're willing to take? What if they don't win?
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's your news done differently with Morgan McCarthy.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. We'll start in Florence County, where officials are looking for your help in identifying human remains. We'll trace it back to the original discovery. It was during the morning of Friday, October 28th, 2022, when a hunter came across human skeletal remains. This was in a rural wooded area in Florence County. We fast forward to today, and the Wisconsin DOJ is now investigating those remains. They have new sketches out, and they're asking for the public's help in identifying the individual. And you can find some more information and a link to those composite sketches at 715newsroom.com. Well, as of Monday, we'll be seeing the word September on our calendars, and starting the 1st, an electronic vaping device that's not listed on the Department of Revenue's electronic vaping device directory will be illegal to offer for sale here in our state. Currently, there are 216 vaping device products listed on the directory, and the devices that contain hemp and do not contain nicotine are not required to be on the directory until July 1st of next year. You can find a link online, 715newsroom.com, for more info. This as the CDC is ending those long-running smoking ads. Probably can picture them in your mind right now. They were designed to help Americans quit smoking.
What's called the Tips from Former Smokers campaign started 13 years ago and will go off the air at the end of September due to funding cuts. The campaign has featured people telling their stories about the negative impact that smoking has had on their lives while urging others to get help quitting. Data shows the campaign led to millions attempting to quit, while more than 1 million did so successfully. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And on this Labor Day weekend, it'll be Behind the Wheel. And if you're headed out on the road, you are not alone. Just a reminder as well that AAA is offering those free rides in a tow for anybody that may have had too much to drink over the holiday weekend. That's called the Tow to Go program, available here in Wisconsin as a way to prevent DWIs. And if you are out, when will those hot buttons on the road be pushed? And when might you have to plan for a little more patience behind the wheel?
The best times to drive to and from your Labor Day destinations are Friday before noon, Saturday between 6 and 10 in the morning, Sunday before 11 in the morning, and Monday before noon. The worst times include Friday between noon and 8 in the evening, Saturday between 10 in the morning and 6 at night, Sunday between noon and 5 in the evening, and then there's Monday between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. As always, AAA advises making sure your car's engine is checked before any big trip, and make sure to pack some extra patience. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
You know, we had a whiteboard out in the commissary here, and that's the exact listing of times where you can catch Casper in a sort of good mood.
Friday before noon, Saturday between 6 and 10 in the morning, Sunday before 11 in the morning, and Monday before noon.
And remember, no matter the time, no matter the day, if you're walking into the Sports Talk studio,
then make sure to pack some extra patience.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Clouds are filling in this morning ahead of a disturbance that will bring scattered showers to the area during the first half of today. While a few showers can't be ruled out this afternoon, will largely dry out. Clouds may even give way to some sunshine or high up to 71. For tonight, turning mostly clear. Areas of fog developing late will slip to a low of 55. And over the holiday weekend, variable sun and clouds, highs in the upper 70s. On 13 First Alert, meteorologist Derek Dolman.
For the first time ever, you can get all of ESPN in the new ESPN app, along with Disney Plus and Hulu, with one incredible offer. The most live sports, biggest blockbusters, and most talked about shows. Get it all in one bundle for $29.99 a month for 12 months. Visit Disney Plus Hulu ESPNBundle.com for details. Ad-supported plan auto renews at regular price. Currently $35.99 a month, subject to change. Unless canceled. Ends 1/5/26. Terms apply.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
From the hardwood and the diamond to the gridiron and the course, Dan's got you covered with his trademark blend of sports passion and knowledge. He has the sports info you want and the sports therapy you need. So get your game face on, people.
Let's go get some bell, huh? Put up or shut up, sir. We gotta get it started from the jump. Play big. Let's go. That's what legends made, man. It's showtime. Welcome to the big leagues. Let's go.
Because it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Final hour on this Friday morning, the final Friday of August before we head into Labor Day weekends. Big thanks for tuning in and making us a part of your start here this morning. Obviously, the big sports story across the globe is Micah Parsons going to Green Bay. I do, kind of chuckle at some fans like, oh, this doesn't really make Green Bay that big and or better and all that. But you literally look at all the national people sitting there saying how badly Dallas got fleeced and how dumb of a move this was for. Like, I don't think I've seen anybody else, at least from a national sense, pick the Cowboy side in this whole thing. Like, where they said, yeah, the Cowboys got this one.
And I think a big part of that is just Jerry Jones in general.
Yeah.
Like, it's like at this point, he doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be one thing if you were trading with like the Eagles and they were trading somebody and you're like, well, why are they getting rid of him?
Right.
I think we know why Micah Parsons isn't a Cowboy anymore. And it's not because of necessarily anything of his play. It's just because that situation with Jerry Jones became untenable.
Yep. So it's just, I can't think of another NFL one. This is the I think the best comparison analogy probably is Luka Doncic almost a little bit. That trade. If we look at it from across the sports world, right? You know, Dallas gets Anthony Davis in return, but Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. Kenny Clark, for the most part, has been, but his play has kind of gone down and such. I'm still in like disbelief it actually happened. That's kind of where I'm at. And maybe it's like, I don't know when it'll actually hit me. Maybe it'll hit me today when Parsons get introduced to the local media and such. I hope he doesn't get number 11 because that means I'm going to have to buy my kid a brand new Jaden Reed jersey for whatever number. And he just got one for Christmas. So I don't know. That's minor stuff to, I guess, have to worry about here at this point. So let's do some cream of the crop, shall we? Cream of the crop. Bottom of the barrel here this morning.
Put the
cream will rise to the top. On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are, yeah. The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
I'll give you the honors first.
Well, usually I'm
Sure.
worried about potentially stealing yours. I don't think I'm going to have to this week after
Yeah.
in light of recent events. So, no, for mine, I'm actually going to go, and this is, I think, something I mentioned before, but, it's always worth mentioning when it comes around. Chippewa Falls Booster Club.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, presenting a check for $145,000. I believe that was in part raised from their big extravaganza and other stuff, but that always, it's something they've done for several years now, but that goes towards many things, just basically helping with like coaches, things that they need for their different teams, but also just in general kind of helping.
So kids can play.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The fees stay low. The fees in Chippewa are very low.
That is
from
amazing.
what I'm told, but like to be able to raise that much money, and it's some years a little more, some years a little less, but it's generally around that 150-ish mark. That is. It's crazy, like just to think that you raise that much on a yearly basis.
I've heard before from others too with Chippewa Falls how much that booster club helps out. So because it is expensive to play high school sport, and I've heard from other people like the job they do to keep those fees down. That's awesome to hear. That's so. I hate pay to play. I won't get into that. Yeah. I understand it too, but I hate it. Because some people just can't.
No, it's just it's a financial barrier, and you don't. Then that's the thing. Like so many things in life, there's financial barriers for. Like athletics, be it youth or high school,
right?
It shouldn't be.
Yep.
Unfortunately, sometimes it is.
Yep.
But
that's a hell of a job.
It's just something. It's just nice to see that's helping.
Yep. That's everybody involved in that. That's a hell of a job. That is a really good one. That is an amazing number. And that goes to those kids so they can go play sports. That's so cool. Yeah. Well done. Well done to everybody. Good pick. Mine does not compare to that. I actually had two. So I had one, but I got to give the Goody one.
Yeah.
Goody on there. But I was going to say, for everybody involved in creating and getting the Euchre celebration on Sunday, I'm assuming you probably watched it on TV. Yeah. Sure, it was probably the same in person and such, but everything, it was. I don't think you could have done a better job with it.
It was very well done, and not that we're surprised, but like it shows how much they cared, but just how much was put into it.
Yep,
it wasn't kind of just haphazardly. Well, we're gonna do this.
Yep.
And then it's done.
And shout out, and I said this too, and people I think probably like what that overlook it, but shout out to the Giants too. It did go long, the Giants were probably sitting around waiting to get the game going and such. But credit to the Giants for allowing the Brewers to do that too.
Right.
I would give a tip of the cap to
the situation.
Yep. It was cool that Willie Adames got to he was going to be in there and such. But like I know I've mentioned it a few times this week. The story, like I was like, George Brett, why is George Brett here? And then you find out why George Brett here. I'm like, well, that's an awesome story. The frog legs and everything. I think what really got me though is to see how emotional Robin Yount was when even Costas said, Yount gets pretty emotional talking about Euchre and that, and kind of seeing it in person how you could tell it was really bothering him. Mm-hmm. That was like, ooh, okay, that was pretty.
Well, and that's it, because so much with in the past 8 months when we've been talking about Euchre, like, look, it's sad, but like so much of it has just been like uplifting, funny stuff because that's just who Bob Euchre was. But then like you see like the gravity even several months later. So like this is still hit people hard.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought it was cool to see the players go out for that. That was just overall. Bob Costas was awesome doing it, and everything was really cool. Ted Simmons with. Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. Did they show on TV was Braun there? Because everybody was kind of talking like, why is it Ryan Braun here?
I don't know.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I like the thing I thought was really cool too was all the memorabilia.
Yeah.
Like the last scorebook he had, he used, that was really cool. Like, was it the bullpen car from Major League?
Yep.
Like,
and they kind of did it and that. And
that was cool. Like
lawnmower.
That was one of those things. Like if I was there, I would have wanted to go through just to see all the different stuff.
Yep. And if anybody hasn't been to AmFam Field too, like the Bob Euchre broadcaster, you can walk by that. It's on the concourse, so that's where we got to see it and walk by because it's there. It's not like a lot of press boxes where
it's just kind of out of the way. No, you walk. I think it's second level.
Yeah,
if you're on the 200 level, like you'll walk right by it.
Yep. And that's where we were at. We were at the lodge level, and it's right there. And just to see all the other stuff. I didn't realize he had like double-digit plaid blazers and all that stuff. So I said this story yesterday, but so during the game in between innings, they had people on interviewing, like on the big board and that, and like so they had I blank on his name, but the best color man in the business.
Oh
Monty.
yeah, I'd seen he was there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were interviewing him in between, and then they had a couple people on from the Belvedere, Mr.
Belvedere, yeah.
And this girl, I think she was like in her teens when she was on the show, and they asked for favorite Bob Uecker, and the in-game host or whatever, like the jaw dropped because she was not expecting her to say this, I think, and I'll try to clean it up a little bit. But they're like, "Could you tell us what?" She's like, "Well, I was turning 16, and I got to the set net, and there was these oddly shaped big balloons all blown up, and found out it was Uecker who blew up extra large."
Prophylactics.
Yes, thank you.
Prophylactics.
So, and then, but I don't know if I could say. That's why I'm just,
right.
And so the jaw dropped, and like that got the loudest reaction from the stadium. But it's like, stories like that. So it was really cool. And the Brewers did a fantastic. I'm glad they changed the thing up by the retire numbers too.
Yes.
I'm glad they changed that.
Right. Instead of just saying, well, it's already up there. Like, no, it's no. And they put him because he's right, like some holiday.
Yeah, or Yount, I thought.
Or Yount, maybe it's Yount.
I think it was Yount, but
which is very fitting.
Yep.
But yeah.
So, bottom of the barrel.
This one's gonna be really easy for me. It's just gonna be Badger quarterbacks getting hurt. Hopefully, it's not too bad for Billy Edwards. But man, like 3 out of 3 where you bring in a transfer quarterback the last 3 years and he gets hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just like karma catching up from like the really good Russell Wilson year or what, but that's unfortunate. Like I said, I liked a lot of what I saw to Danny O'Neal, but still, like this team's best chance to find victories this year is going to be with Billy Edwards. So hopefully it's not anything that's too long, and he's able to make a return here at some point.
Yeah, I think everybody was kind of like, again, really?
I think because that happened. Obviously I was covering the game. I just got a text from a friend of mine. It's like non-contact quarterback injury again. Like, and then just look at my phone like, what? But
my bottom of the barrel, we've been kind of ragging on him all morning, but I'm gonna go Jerry Jones. This just popped. I gotta say this. So Sam Monson from formerly of Pro Football Focus.
Yeah. Yep.
Most likely theory, talking about this literally just like a minute ago, he tweeted this. Jerry Jones got through watching a Netflix documentary and huffing his own farts over the Herschel Walker trade and decided to run it back, only worse.
Right.
I mean, come on now.
Right.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I kind of feel bad for Cowboys fans.
I have a little more empathy for that just because I have, friends and family that are Cowboys fans, and like they're smart Cowboy fans. Like they deserve better.
Yeah.
But it's just
and even in that documentary, so that's going to get brought up with the Herschel Walker trade and all that. And Living a Dream, Jeff said, I just listened to the Jerry Jones interview. History lesson for everyone too young. Jimmy Johnson's the only reason the Cowboys were a dynasty in the early 90s. Switzer coached Jimmy's team to their 3rd Super Bowl. That is all. You go to, and I,
yep.
Yep. But you go to that, and there's a part, I think it's in the 2nd episode, where they literally go back and forth, not together because they
weren't
separately.
Together.
Yeah. Jerry's trying to take credit for the Herschel Walker trade. Jimmy takes credit for the Herschel Walker trade because he said it was in his contract. Jerry's like, there was never anything like that in his contract. I tend to believe Jimmy, I think, more than Jerry at this point.
I do too.
So
I do too.
I just like, oh my gosh. That's where I do feel from just a fan base standpoint, because I'm like you, I've got friends, really close friends, dear friends who are Cowboys fan. Yes, we have trash talked over the years.
Oh, yes.
Over the years. But when it's something you literally cannot control at this point, and you will never be able to control probably for the long haul with an owner like this, I kind of feel bad at times. But this helped my team, so I don't feel that
I was going to say, if we would have gotten traded to Jacksonville,
right,
they would just been kind of like, oh, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry.
But yeah, now potential friends and family that are Cowboys fans listening, now this has a negative impact on my team.
Right.
Now this is a problem.
Right.
Fix your problem.
And like you said earlier, though, too, like, okay, when it comes to that time where his kid Stephen Jones takes over, is it going to be the same?
Difference?
Or is it going to be different? I mean, everything that we've seen, it's like it's going to be the same, but maybe he's just playing good son. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's I'm kind of at a loss for words to kind of keep.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's still just surprising it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and here's the thing: if the price was 2 first-rounders and like a player around Kenny Clark's ability, weren't more teams going to be? And I get part of it. A big part of it too is you have to have the money for the extension.
Yep.
And not everybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how many teams are seeing this and going, "We could do that,
right?
We could beat that,
right?" And I saw Tom Pelissero actually said a little bit earlier this morning on Good Morning Football that apparently this trade was agreed to days ago. It was just the contract was the last,
and that,
the last
that's
hurdle.
the other part of it.
And you tell me the Cowboys couldn't find a better deal if this was agreed to days ago? They couldn't find, or they weren't willing to find a better deal elsewhere than this, or they were really that like, oh yeah, Kenny Clark. No offense to Kenny Clark, but I mean,
no, good player has definitely victimized my team many times over the years. But like,
right
because initially when the reports were coming in, it's like, okay, it was 2 first-rounders, and he seemed like a high-level player. Like, okay, well, I'm kind of curious to see who that player is.
Yeah, because I think Schefter first said front line. I'm like, front line. Okay. Then you're like, okay.
Is it one of the edge rushers, which would have made sense? Is it somebody else?
Yep.
And that's like Kenny Clark. It's like, again, no disrespect to Kenny Clark, but you're thinking of somebody that's more like mid-20s. Maybe it's one of those edge rushers. Maybe it's, an alignment or, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever. And then it's just like, again, if that's the cost, that's fine. But like sometimes there's just certain things that they may cost a lot, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go to a restaurant you really like. Okay, well, and it costs you a little bit. Well, you know what? Sometimes you just pay the price because you really like the food.
Right.
In this case, you pay the price because you really like the food.
Right. I saw Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports say it's the kind of talent exchange you'd call embarrassing and obscene. Like, that's the thing. It's, again, I like Kenny Clark. I appreciate what he's done throughout the whole years. I'm surprised Green Bay actually did it because it's Kenny Clark.
Because he's been a lot.
Yeah, he's been there. That was Ted Thompson's last first-round pick. No, one of his last first-round picks because it was actually Kevin King, and then the whole TJ Watt thing. But as somebody said, Ted Thompson got Micah Parsons.
It just took a little bit.
Just took a little bit. But Ted Thompson maybe made up for the Kevin King and TJ Watt fiasco because we got Micah Parsons. All right, Ted, thank you. But that's where, like, people kind of downplaying the impact of what Micah Parsons could do. This is a guy in his first 4 years who has had double-digit sacks. Last year, he played 13 games and still had 12 sacks. Rashawn Gary has yet to have a season with double-digit sacks. Every time Dallas lined up and Micah Parsons was out there, he was the focal point, and he was still getting production.
He's a game wrecker.
Yes.
He is, let's put it this way, put it in baseball terms. You have acquired an ace for your pitching staff, a legitimate top-of-the-rotation ace.
Mm-hmm.
This, in theory, is going to make everyone else better.
Yeah.
It's going to, now suddenly Rashawn Gary isn't in the number 1 slot. He's number 2. Then it's Lucas Van Ness. We don't need you to be a starter. We just need you to, be productive in a more limited role. Like, everyone slides down the pecking order a little bit because the top's taken care of.
Right.
And he's versatile. Like, he can play in coverage.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to probably want him to rush the passer a lot, but you can drop him in coverage if you want to as well. He plays
Blitz up the middle.
He can do everything.
That's the thing is, like, if I'm Jeff Hafley right now, don't limit. You've got, I think, who was it from NFL.com when I read there? You essentially acquired a queen. If you're using a chess analogy, you've got the queen now where you just move them all over the board.
The queen can do everything on the board.
Right. And now you got that. So it's like, okay, here you go now.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
And if you have some questions about your secondary, what's the best way to help a secondary?
Yep.
You give a pass rush so they don't have to cover for 4 seconds.
When Hafley said last year, his ideal way of playing defense is rushing with 4-5 and dropping everybody back in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
you essentially can do that right now. We'll
Right.
see if they can.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
that's you would think that was going to be the plan. Now we'll just see if it works.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a reason to believe it will.
And to help out on that back end is a pretty good safety in Xavier McKinney, who
Right.
had a pretty good year last year. So it's like that helps him out. That helps out a guy like Edrin Cooper, who everybody is like already ready to crown coming into a second year. And I get it, the hype, but that's going to help him out. You'd think it'd help out Rashawn Gary maybe get a double digit. It helps everybody out on that defensive side.
He's going to be the son of the defense. Everything orbits around him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I don't know if it's just some people might trying to downplay it, like, well, he was on a losing team, and look at the situations.
Right. And that does matter.
Mhm.
And look, as much as I would love to downplay it, because obviously it makes things more difficult for my team.
Mhm.
If you're looking at this realistically, it's a big darn deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sean says, hey, Dan, does anyone else remember the interview where Jordan Love was kind of hinting towards Parsons joining the Packers? Did Parsons dictate where he was going? I can't believe a past prime, never the premier D tackle, and Kenny Clark was the best option, especially after his own down year last year. Well, I don't know if you're referring to the interview that he was doing with Micah Parsons. It was Micah Parsons' podcast, I believe, that Jordan Love was on. And I think Micah asked him, if you could add one player or something like that. And, Jordan Love, of course, is like, oh, the guy sitting next to me, there's also a connection. They share the same agent. Jordan Love and Micah share the same agent. I know some people were saying, ooh, Micah Parsons' agent was at Jordan Love's wedding. Well, it's also Jordan Love's agent.
Right.
I mean, it's, not that hard to probably connect some of those dots there too. Yep. Did Micah Parsons maybe have a say of where you wanted to go or push it? He could have. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it too.
Because what is the kicker? What we were just saying, he had to agree to a contract.
Right. Whoever was trading for Micah Parsons was not trading for him without an extension worked out.
Right. So there could have been, let's say, I doubt it. I shouldn't say doubt. I never know. But there could have been a scenario where, let's say, the Cardinals were interested in acquiring Micah Parsons. And maybe they had a deal out there too. Micah Parsons could have said, nah, I'm not going to sign a deal.
Right.
Well, then that trade's probably going to fall through.
Right.
So it could have inadvertently, he might not have been saying, only trade me to Green Bay.
Right.
He could have forced the hand a little bit,
But that just might have been the best combination of offer and opportunity.
Mhm.
Where, okay, he's going to get paid, but he's also going to a team that, he maybe looks and says, hey, maybe I'm the final piece.
Mm-hmm. And it also could have just been like, yeah, I'll sign a deal there. I'm not going to sign a deal there. Kind of
Right.
inadvertently, saying that sort of thing.
Another part of this too, Jerry Jones just might be a dumbass.
Okay. There you go. David, Packers bought a $2 Powerball ticket and won the jackpots. Go, Pack, go. Saw somebody at Cornell won a nice lottery ticket.
Shout out
over
to the
there.
BP in Cornell.
Yeah. What, 150K?
No, that's not bad.
Not bad.
All right. So come on.
So it's
Let's
possible.
get it together. Somebody around here, someone in the Chippewa Valley, just go win the Powerball tomorrow night.
Apparently, you got to go to Cornell. Maybe that's where the ticket's at. Or maybe
I'm
don't go to
I'm going
Cornell.
to be in Cornell tomorrow.
Oh.
What does lightning strike twice?
See, me, it would be like, nope, can't go there then. But but then are you overthinking it?
It's true. Because it's still random.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're told. All right, tell you what, let's take a quick break. And we got AJM Automotive, Pump the Brakes, Full Throttle. We'll be back after these few words.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
In today's business environment, you need internet that's as strong as your ambitions. TDS Fiber Internet is designed to meet the highest demand, offering blazing fast symmetrical speeds and rock-solid 99.9% network reliability. Fortify your business with internet that delivers unmatched strength and durability. Upgrade to industrial-strength TDS Fiber Internet. Built to endure, built for your business. Visit tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed, subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
For over 50 years, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine has been Western Wisconsin's trusted leader in orthopedic care. Whether you're facing bone and joint pain, sports injuries, or complex spine issues, their expert team is dedicated to helping you live pain-free. Now with their new state-of-the-art facility in Rice Lake, you can enjoy clinic visits, advanced imaging, and personalized physical therapy all under one roof. Visit cvosm.com to get back to doing what you love pain-free. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where high-quality care meets hometown commitment.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the TDS Sports Talk 105.1 studios, it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Okay, before we get to AJM Automotive Pump the Brakes Full Throttle, your mom has chimed in again here. And I don't think this helps your case, Mom. So I'm assuming you're referring to the game on Sunday. She says, oh, in my own defense, we left the Brewer game at the end of the 3rd inning. That doesn't help your case, Ma. You don't leave games that early. Come on. Right? That's faux pas.
There's only been one time, 2 times. I take it back. There's been 2 times in my life I've been to a baseball game and I've been okay leaving early. The first time, and actually Mom was there, was opening day 2015 because it was the same day the Badgers played Duke in the national title game.
Yep.
And the other one was actually the Saturday Brewer game this year in Minnesota because it was so damn hot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was like the 8th inning. We just kind of looked around and we're like, and the Brewers were up at like 10-1 or something. So
I think,
like,
was that after Harrison Bader just completely missed the catch?
It was because the guy in front of us was just giving him the business. So we kind of look at each other like, so we're good to go, right? We're like, yep, it's very warm.
Ma, 3rd inning. 3rd. When did Durbin hit the home run in the 3rd, I think, in that game?
I don't remember.
Ma. Pump the Brakes, Full Throttle, brought to you by our good friends AJM Automotive in Eau Claire. By the way, too, really quick, I'm getting off on another tangent. Cowboys fans, the only way to maybe get the, and it's never going to happen, but maybe to send a message to your owner, stop going to games. But you're not going to. Let's face it. What's the biggest message a fan can send a team, their team, if they're unhappy? You stop going to the games and you stop buying their stuff to where the profit margins start going down.
Right.
But you're not going to do that.
And that's always the the hack for when you're dealing with, wanting to send your message to ownership.
Yeah.
It's just doesn't usually happen.
Mom's calling you a liar right now.
Me?
She says, "Liar B, we left the last game we were together at."
That's actually a really good point. My mistake. Good call. Yeah, we left in like the third inning, and it took us 20 minutes to get out of the parking lot.
Third inning? Was that the cribbage board game?
No.
Oh,
that
okay.
was the Terang bobblehead.
Oh,
because we drove back that night.
You did tell me ahead of time that you were going to leave that game early.
Right.
So I still can't give you a pass. I'm sorry. I was going to try to help you, but I can't. So, did you get a platinum one or did you get a regular one?
No.
Okay. Did you get any?
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
we did.
well, I said
Yeah.
platinum or regular, and you said
I
no,
thought you said,
so.
did you get a platinum one?
Okay.
No.
All right. Back to pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Right now, with this move of Micah Parsons going to the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, in your estimation, are a top 5 team in the NFL right now.
I'm gonna still pump the brakes on that.
How dare you?
I
You
know.
are such a hater.
I know.
Why? Who do you have ahead of them off top of your head right now?
Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. And I still think I'm gonna still go Lions until we're proven otherwise.
Okay.
Now, if you were to say like top 8, then I'm thinking in that like 6 to 8 range. You could put like Vikings, Packers, and then whoever else. But like top 5. I still need to see it a little bit. But if you said top 8, I would buy it.
I'm going full throttle for the same kind of the same reason you just said right there. I've got the same first four as you do. But why I have Green Bay ahead of Detroit right now is for the reason you just said you guys see it more. I don't know about those new coordinators in Detroit. I've seen Micah Parsons play. I haven't seen those coordinators in Detroit yet. So that's where right now I am going to give a little bit of an advantage until I see that from Detroit's offensive coordinators. So take that.
Ooh.
Full throttle. Voom, voom. Never mind. Pump the brakes, full throttle. The Brewers. We'll get back. I've got more football ones, but I want to try to cover some of these other ones. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Brewers will reach. I'm going to ask you on this daily. We'll reach the 100 win mark after their latest skid, if you call it a skid, even.
Yeah. I'm still gonna pump the brakes. Like
Yeah.
that's just such a tough thing to get to. Like you can be at 98 wins, and that's still an awesome regular season. But it's like I don't
think anybody's going to get it this year.
I don't think so. I just think it's one of those years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You look at it. We're still sitting here August 29th, and the Brewers are still the only team with over 80 wins, 80 or more. The math tells me it's not going to happen. So, yeah, I'm going to pump the brakes on that one too. It would have been it'd be great, but the thing is, 100 wins is awesome. I want to see a deep postseason run more than anything.
And that's it. Like at this stage of the game, you don't want to be like, well, the regular season, it doesn't matter, because it does matter, especially if they end up with like the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter as much if you go out in the wild card round then and lose to the 4 or the 5 seed.
Mm-hmm. Pump the brakes, full throttle. At this point in time, August 29th, if you were to set up your playoff rotation for the Brewers, the odd man out would be Jose Quintana.
To me, that's still about how do you deploy Borowski. Now his last start was a little bit more encouraging because the upside's there, but do you trust his ability to pitch deeper in the game? Also, is that as much of an issue in the postseason when you have more off days?
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, because of this current situation of the rotation, I'm going to pump the brakes and say that maybe Mizrowski is used more as a reliever because of maybe some of the current unrest in the bullpen.
That's kind of where I'm at too. I'm going to pump the brakes because how much if it's set up, when we get to that point and the Brewers are able to set up their starting rotation for the postseason and that, Freddie's getting game 1. I think that's probably all things equal. Freddie's getting game 1. Woody 2?
Woodard for Priester. I think you go, those are 2, 3, Quintana 4. And then obviously, but with the way it works, then because you only need 4 for the rotation for the playoffs because of off days. So and then Peralta would be there for game 5 again.
Would you do a thing where Woody and Mizorowski piggyback it?
Potentially, but I think the thing with piggybacking is you generally want pitchers that are a little different. And obviously they're not the exact same, but maybe that's why like when they piggyback DL Hall and Quinn Priester works well because you get a righty and a lefty and they're a little bit different with what they do. So I don't know. I just think you would have Mizorowski to deploy as a multi-inning guy if you need it. And he's done it before. He's done it in the minors before. So it's not like you're asking him to do something. I just think based on the way the rotation or the bullpen is currently kind of in flux a little bit, that deploying Mizorowski as a multi-inning reliever might be the ticket.
Yeah. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Pump the brakes, full throttle for continuing with the Brewers here. Excuse me. Rhys Hoskins will get more ABs when he comes back than Andrew Vaughn.
I'll pump the brakes, but I think it's going to be pretty close because Andrew Vaughn has come back down to earth a little bit. I mean, he's had some hits and stuff, but there hasn't been as much in the way of power. And look, when he first got to Milwaukee, Andrew Vaughn was doing things that hadn't been done since like peak Barry Bonds. That was not going to continue.
Yeah.
But he still should get at bats. But like, I think you're going to mix and match and kind of play the hot hand with those two once he gets back.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you too. It's going to be interesting how they manage that. And it looks like Rhys Hoskins is hitting well in AAA too.
Right.
I mean, he's got a couple home runs and,
it's a longer ramp up for him because he's been out since early July.
Yeah.
But, and I also think part of it too is they're probably waiting to get to that September 1st roster expansion just so he can be the guy. I think
when Cheerio's back, who's the odd man out?
I think it's Brian Lockridge.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got minor league options. I mean, he's still got like 3 of them. So like, I think that's just the simplest move because then him and Blake Perkins are kind of redundant because they're kind of similar players.
Yeah.
So you don't need 2 of those guys on the roster, and given what we've heard in the past, Pat Murphy say about Blake Perkins, I don't think he's getting sent down.
Yeah.
So I think he just becomes your reserve defensive speedster outfielder guy.
Have you seen a more casual home run robbery than you did yesterday from Blake Perkins? I mean, seriously, that thing, he's just kind of like gliding back and just times the jump perfectly. And it's like, that was one of the most casual home run derbies I think I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah.
And I use this analogy. I think I use it whenever I see him just strolling in center field and making these casual catches. I just feel like a warm blanket. I'm all ooey gooey. Like
I think if you would describe his defense in a word, it's smooth.
Yeah.
He never looks like he is out of sorts, which, Jackson Chourio will get better at, but you can still tell it's a bit of an adventure sometimes with some of the angles and stuff he takes. Like my feeling with Blake Perkins when he's in center field is he's never going to get burnt with a ball over his head.
No.
You're like, if you're going to get one to the wall, it's going to have to be in the gap.
Yep.
Like he's just a really good defensive center fielder. I think was he a Gold Glove finalist last year?
I think he was.
As a pretty much a reserve player. Like that's kind of unheard of.
Right.
So, he's your fourth or 5th, I guess I'm trying to count the numbers in my head, like 4th outfielder, whatever. Well, it'd be 5th. I mean,
yeah, because Yelich, Collins, Chourio, Frelick.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't need both of those guys. I think the moves are when we already talked about Chourio up, Lockridge down, Hoskins comes up September 1st. And so you would only need to get rid of one player. And I think Jake Bauers gets DFA'd.
Yeah.
I think at that point, you have coverage in the outfield, which you really shouldn't be playing Jake Bauers out there anyway, but you kind of do just on need. And you have coverage at first base. I think that's probably the play.
Yeah. I just like the fact that they have options instead of like, you used the analogy, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, hoping that Josh Donaldson would get you something.
Right. When in 2023, when he got signed on the eve of September, just so it could be a possibility, it was like, you were crossing your fingers saying maybe, as opposed to saying, okay, no, this is legitimate options versus can this guy that's, not been good in a few years find a good couple weeks?
Yeah. Pump the brakes, full throttle after one game from the Badger football team. You feel a little bit better for the rest of the season.
I'm gonna go full throttle only for the defense.
Mhm.
It was a really dominant defensive effort. Now, Miami of Ohio is not great, but like I said, they have a quarterback that, isn't as bad as he played there.
Mhm.
And the way they were able to not get run all over. I mean, I talked about before, like 32 yards, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Like
22 carries, 32 yards.
that's encouraging. But that can't be it. That can't be like, remember the peak of the season for the defense was the first game.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I will say it.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel better about defense, but I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit just because I need more than just the first game of the season, and I'm going to need more than just Middle Tennessee next week. October I think is really when you got Alabama that third week. I still don't know if I'm going to really have a good gauge of where this Badger team is. So I don't know. But last one before we get to picks, because we got baseball and college football to pick here. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Shohei Ohtani is the runaway National League MVP. Like the vote said earlier this week on MLB.com.
I'm going to pump the brakes after what Kyle Schwarber's done here recently.
I thought it would be closer even before last night's. Well, I mean, this was done earlier in the week, but still, I thought Schwarber would have made
Let's
some ground.
Let's get ourselves a double big guy MVP, although Schwarber isn't as big as he used to be, which is kind of a little bit of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
I don't know if Schwarber has a nickname. I mean, he doesn't have as great of a nickname as Cal Raleigh, but
I'll see if I can Google it though. But from what I was reading too, they talk about Ohtani because now he's pitching and that is just okay. I get that, but I mean Schwarber, he's going to have over 50 home runs this year,
right?
And even Ohtani, I mean his batting average isn't what it was like last year and such. I'm not trying to downplay. He set the bar so incredibly high that if you look at this year as a down year, and he still might win MVP for crying out loud. That's how good he. But I would think it's kind of like and I know Aaron Judge has been out with injuries and such, but I would think Schwarber's got like a Cal Raleigh kind of explosion to him where he should be jumping up into that discussion. Kyle Schwarber is known by including the popular Kyle from Waltman, which he adopted after he was coined by Barstool Sports. Other nicknames he's been given it includes Hulk, Schwarbs, Warbird, and Schwarby. Okay.
We can do better than that.
Yeah, we could. So, all right, that's Pump the Brakes Full Throttle brought to you by AJM Automotive. We're going to wrap it up coming up after this break with some picks, including college football picks. Got a good one coming at you tomorrow morning. We'll hit all that up and more after these quick words.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Mycon Cinemas is your locally owned family theaters. Here's what's playing now. The Naked Gun, The Fantastic Four, First Steps, Jurassic World, Rebirth, Freakier Friday, Weapons, The Bad Guys 2, The Roses, Caught Stealing, The Toxic Avenger, and Nobody 2. For theaters and showtimes, find them online at myconcinemas.com.
Warmer weather means more time on your feet. Make sure every step feels great. Whether it's running, walking, or working, proper support matters. The Shoe Doctor carries a wide selection of supportive shoes, custom insoles, and footwear solutions designed for comfort and performance. Stop in to find the right fit for spring and summer activities. The Shoe Doctor, helping feet feel their best season after season. Visit the Shoe Doctor today at 2321 East Claremont Avenue or online at shoedoctoreauclair.com, where comfort starts.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Do you owe the IRS or state back taxes or haven't filed in years? Whether it's personal or business debt, the team of tax attorneys and IRS enrolled agents at Tax Network USA have saved our clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Dial pound 250 today and use keyword Tax Network for a free consultation. That's pound 250 keyword Tax Network or visit TNUSA.com. Tax Network USA. Real lawyers, real tax pros, real results.
Network. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
In our corner of Wisconsin, we tend to get overlooked sometimes by our favorite sports teams. Sure, once in a while, a local bar will get a shout out or a team tour will make a quick stop, but we are just as passionate about our Packers, Bucks, Badgers, and Brewers as everyone else. That's why we created the 715 Fan Cave. It's a place for fans to gather and talk sports and show their love for their favorite teams. For more info, just visit sportstalk1051.com.
Before we get to picks, reminder, you can now start to make your Pro Football Weekly pick'ems at our website, sportstalk1051.com. Just click on the Fan Cave tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom and make those picks. And then also we've got the Survivor Pick'em Challenge up there too. So season starts less than a week. Better get your picks in before it's too late. We know it could be decided by just one game with those pick'em challenges. Let's start off with some baseball games, shall we, before we get to some interesting, very fun college football games coming up on the dockets for this week. Obviously, we're going to save the Brewers one for last. And again, this is for series since it's Friday and such. But Cardinals, Reds.
Reds.
I'm going to go Reds too. This one got started off last night, as we were kind of talking about a little bit, but Atlanta and Philadelphia.
Ooh, started with a bang too. I'll go Phillies.
I'm going to go Phillies too. Get a big head before you come to Milwaukee. Tampa Bay and Washington.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Miami and the Mets of New York.
The Mets of New York.
I'll go Mets too. Pittsburgh, Boston.
Boston.
Boston's playing really well right now.
They are. Boston.
Boston. Seattle, Cleveland.
I'm going to go Cleveland, even though they're scuffling a little bit.
I'll go Seattle. I'll play it safe. New York and Chicago. Yankees, White Sox.
Yankees.
Yankees. Angels, Astros.
Angels. Yeah, Angels.
I'm going to go Astros. Let's do Tigers, Royals.
I'm going to go Royals.
I'm going Tigers. No. Padres, Twins.
Padres.
Cubs, Rockies.
Rockies.
No, I'm just kidding. Cubs. I had to see one. Texas and the Athletics of Las Vegas, formerly of Oakland.
We'll be in Las Vegas for a couple series next year, including when they play the Brewers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Texas.
Yeah, Texas too. Diamondbacks and the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Baltimore and the Giants, who are actually playing well.
I'm going to go with Giants.
And then finally, Brewers, Blue Jays.
I'm going to go Blue Jays.
Ooh.
2 or 3, yeah.
I think Brewers bounce back and get 2 out of 3.
All right.
So, by the way, with that schedule, anything jump out to you with the new Brewers schedule for next year?
They have another long stretch again.
Yeah. Holy AL, too, to begin the season.
The month of April starts out, which it kind of did this year, too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Starts out with a lot of interleague play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like a little balanced schedule, but this is like, holy moly, that's a little different. So, But yeah, that's long stretch right after the All-Star break too. There's an insane stretch of games for the Brewers too. But all right, let's do some college football picks. We got games tonight. We got games tomorrow.
A game Sunday. A game on
Sunday,
Monday.
A game on Monday. So let's go. How about? Do we want to do any for tonight? I'm looking at the lines here to see if Georgia Tech at Colorado. Georgia Tech's actually favored by 4.5.
I'm gonna go Colorado.
I'm gonna go Georgia Tech. Let's go. Our good buddy Mark, Appalachian State at Charlotte.
Deuce Mayo Kickoff Classic.
Yep.
We'll go Charlotte.
I'm gonna go Charlotte too. Bethune-Cookman College at Florida International. I just like saying Bethune-Cookman because was that Nick Collins?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Florida International.
Yeah, they're favored by like 31. So. Let's go to Saturdays. I want to save this one towards the end here. So, how about trying to find some decent ones here? Let's go. Do you have anything off the top of your head while I scroll through this before the Texas?
Is there Clemson LSU?
I think yes. There's a lot. Yes, LSU at Clemson.
I'm gonna go Clemson.
I'm gonna go LSU. I'm not on the Dabo Swinney train yet. I'm gonna go.
You're saying
upset.
more like LS Pew.
Sure. Sure, Brandon. Sure. Let's do. Okay, Brandon. Okay. Let's do Utah at UCLA.
Ooh, this should be a Pac-12 game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Utah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Utah. You like Utah.
Kyle Whittingham is a very underrated coach.
Mm-hmm. You like him a lot. Future former Badger head coach. Depending on how this year goes.
I think he's at the state of his career where he's pretty much riding with Utah until he decides he doesn't want to coach anymore.
Yeah. So, okay, let's just do this one. Texas at Ohio State.
Ohio State.
I'm going Texas. True freshman quarterback going for Ohio State. Archman and a lot of pressure. Get that. I'm going to go Texas going to Ohio, going into Buckeyes and getting up that win. So getting them into an 0-1 hole right away. It's fantastic. I'm so glad that starts at 11 tomorrow too. I'm so glad. Just started off right away. Potential. It's weird that we could say this kind of. Maybe a preview of the national championship.
Good.
Maybe. Possibly. Let's do Notre Dame at Miami. Good old fashioned.
This was
classic.
a big deal 30 years ago.
Hey, 2 top 10 teams.
It is. But do you trust either of them?
Nope. So it's boiled down to which one you trust the most.
I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
I think I trust Notre Dame more, so I'm gonna go Notre Dame too. Got to do this one, man. TCU, North Carolina. Billy Bob.
I'm gonna go with the Fighting Belichicks.
I'm going TCU. TCU's favored, and I think TCU is going to win by a touchdown or more.
Ooh.
TCU's favored by 3.5, but I think they definitely cover in this one.
You're hammering that over?
Yep. I mean, I think good old Billy's going to be over his head at the college game. It's going to spiral out of control pretty early here. By the way, did you see the Lay's drama? They filed for a trademark called Gold Digger. Really?
There are a bunch of trademarks in there which were, let's just say, interesting.
This is the guy who kept preaching at the pro level, don't be a distraction, don't be a distraction, don't be a distraction. And he alone has been the biggest distraction.
Well, his girlfriend too.
Well, that's part him though,
yeah.
You know, so it just, I think it's going to go downhill and downhill fast.
Go down
quick.
Chapel Hill?
You and your dad jokes for crying all out this morning. That was pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Air 5. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. So, no, I think it's going to go bad. I just, yeah. Any other games that you want to try? Was there anything else that kind of like piqued your interest? Trying to look at I'm looking at the lines to see if there's any like decent ones. UTEP, Utah State. Utah State's favored by 5.5. The Fighting Jordan Loves
versus UTEP. The Fighting Aaron Jones is?
Yeah, very good. Look at that. Former Packer great.
Yeah. What's he doing these days?
Not much. going to be sacked or tackled by Micah Parsons quite a bit.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Well, who you going to pick? I'm going with the Fighting Jordan Loves.
Well, I just thought you were just saying that. I'm going to go with UTEP.
Of course you would. Georgia
The
Southern.
Fighting Texas El Paso.
Georgia Southern at Fresno State. Georgia Southern 1.5-point favorite.
I'm going to go Fresno State.
Yeah, I'm going to go Fresno State too. California at Oregon State. Oregon State's favored by 1.5.
This should be a Pac-12 game too. I'm going to go with Cal. I'm going to go with the Calgorithm.
You're going with the Fighting Aaron Rodgers, the former defensive coordinator for the Badgers?
Former Cam Bynums.
Oh, okay. Former Badger defense coordinator, Coach Wilcox.
Josh Wilcox,
yep.
Or Justin Wilcox.
Justin, yep. I'll go Cal too. Just scrolling through the lines just to try to find something that's not 45. And I love some of these games where the lines are just like 45, 50. Let's run it through. So, all right. That's going to do it for picks. Again, tonight, you're going to be catching out. Well, first of all, you're going to be doing some volleyball, watching some volleyball, and then McDonald football tonight.
Yep, McDonald Clayton back at Duray Field.
That should be a good one.
Should be. Yeah.
Coming at you tonight. So, and then you're already on to week 3 of the high school football season.
My goodness.
Flying on through. Before you know it, we're going to be talking about basketball season probably. Don't want to get that far yet. Reminder, 1 o'clock, if you're a Packers fan, that's when it all kind of starts. Goody talks at 1, Matt LaFleur talks at 1:30, and then Micah Parsons talks at 2 o'clock. And then maybe you'll find out what number he wears so you can hammer the pro shop and get that Micah Parsons
Is that going to be the big number here?
I think so. You know people are just going to like flood and try to get that.
Sure.
I was trying to look at the roster and be like, oh, maybe 56. Nope, that's Edrin Cooper. Yeah, little LT style 56 on there. But no, and he wore 11 at Penn State. Unless Jane Reed's willing, I don't want Jane Reed to change though. That's Jane Reed's number. Micah, you can change. Reggie had 91 for a while, then he went to 92.
If you can change, I can change.
Everybody can change.
Numbers.
So, all right, DP Dance are up next. They're going to have our good friend Rob Domofsky on in, I think, 10 minutes. So, thought about texting Rob. Rob's pretty busy this morning, though. It looks like he was on ESPN already. Now he's going to be on DP and that. But we'll probably catch up with Rob. I'm going to shoot him a message, see if he's got some availability next week. So, what are you laughing at? You're grinning over there. You're smirking.
Sorry for having fun.
All right, have a good rest of your day. We won't be here Monday, Labor Day, so we'll talk to you on Tuesday. See you then.